The new Twitch code of conduct's gotta get us. Blah! Hello everybody and welcome to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Will, I'm D&D Sex Icon. I'm back today with another episode of Call of Cthulhu Reign of Terror. We've got everyone back with us here today for another exciting episode of everybody's favourite mad show set in 1789 French Revolutionary times. Yep. It's pretty niche, but you guys like it. Keep coming back for more. Let's go around. Let's figure out who we're playing today. Of course, we've got Greg, our Dungeon Master, with us today. Sorry, not our Dungeon Master, our Keeper. Greg, how you doing?
I'm doing well, buddy. I'm doing well. I rewatched the episode to make sure that I could enjoy all the carnality that was the whipping party. I did enjoy it again. It got me prepared for tonight. Hopefully we'll get to the next of the comps parties, which is a little bit, it's just a little bit more extreme, I think. But anyway, I'm here, Grimjack21502. I shall be your keeper. Let's see what everybody else is going to be.
The dude had a fucking skinless pope at his last party, so I want to see how he tops that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited, personally. We have... Let's get out of the way.
About skinless pope.
Yeah, please. We've got Mike with us today. Mike, how you doing?
See, coming into this, I was excited because we didn't get to play last week. But then I looked to my left where the screen is playing the stream, and I realized that I believe I'm face to face with Count Fenelick, and I have 6 nat ones. So I'm not great, Will. I'm not great.
That's good. Well, you know, I've got some even better news for you, Mike, because earlier on last week, Urban Lady donated to give you 2 wild magic surges on a completely different stream.
I wasn't even on that show.
Wasn't even there, but the...
Oh, no.
Needed to happen.
Oh, God. Yeah, I'm Mike. I'm here to play Sergeant Renard. And hopefully that'll be the last time I'm playing today with those 6 nat ones. I gotta make a new character for next week.
We can hope.
Yeah, this will be good times.
Amazing. We've got the great Haley there today in costume. How you doing, Haley?
Doing great. Today I am man.
Today I am man.
Today I am man.
I am man.
I am playing... I almost said Joseph. We were just talking about that. I am Christoph. I am the ever-dashing, charming man that he is, face-to-face with the terrible nightmare.
Yep, which is Etienne. Etienne, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing great. Hello, everybody. I'm Mythomatic. I'm a Cypher System Sex Icon. Come at me, Money Cook. We are going to be playing Etienne Babin. Today he's got a wooden hand because he blew it off somehow during an explosion. I'm super excited to play him. He's probably one of my favorite characters played here on the channel. Let's see what's up with him. And
do it.
That's it.
So, and of course, we had Jules with us today. Jules, how you doing?
Good. I'm really concerned about this, like, more parties. I don't want to go to any more parties with any more skinless people and get a tongue shoved down my throat by a kid that can't kiss.
Specific, but it happened.
No, I don't want to, like, I'm playing Martine.
Just another day.
Joseph. And
the recap.
Martine's going to develop a sad case of agoraphobia and just not be able to do social things anymore ever again with this comp who has decided he's going to probably marry her. This is not good. None of this is good.
That's right.
I like that you said a kid and you didn't just call out Will.
Yeah.
Being a terrible kisser.
I mean, I'm sure. I don't want to assume things about him and Sydney's relationship.
Yeah, please don't. It's messy.
The whole internet does. It's fine.
There are videos. You just got to go to a different website. It's a totally different service. It's a side business that we run. livejasmine.com/.
Livejasmine,
Yep. Well, yeah. Well, that is actually one of my rules. Is no kissing. But hey, I myself.
Kissing on the mouth because you don't want to fall in love with them, Will.
No, not at all. No kissing anyway.
No kissing at all. It's just a life rule.
Will's secretly trying to relive his Pretty
No,
Woman
no,
fantasy.
Yep.
Don't kiss me. No, please.
It's no secret.
Don't kiss me.
What's your dream? Hollywood.
Yep. You can touch it anywhere else, just no kissing. This has gone down a rabbit hole which I've been down far too many times before. I will be playing.
As long as they pay you, babe.
Yeah, that's it. Gotta get that. Speaking of which, our sponsors, D&Dice, Tokyo's UK, go over there. 5% off. Well worth it. Well worth it, my friends. What else? Oh, as for myself, I'm playing Michel Beaumont, the young French soldier who won't kiss anyone at all. He shares my own feelings of that. Of course, you can interact with today's show. Follow if you haven't already. You're in for a good time. Tweets, retweet this tweet here. 20 retweets, have a viewer decision. And of course, you can donate to affect the game. Give players nat 1s, nat 20s, wild magic surges. And of course, let's get for a couple of donations that just came in here. Irvin donates £10. Here you go, Mike. Have another 2. That makes 4.
Am I allowed to give Mike nat ones? Is that a
Fuck
thing?
you,
That's
Irvin.
totally a thing.
Yeah.
Fuck you, everyone.
Half the time, it's just me donating.
I believe that.
Against Mike. Latu donates £19, 2 wild magic surges, and 3 natural 20s. But Greg chooses which of the players gets what.
Choose wisely, Greg.
I'm gonna give them all to himself.
Okay, Latu gave 2 wild magic surges and 3 crits.
Yep,
Yes.
That's cool.
Is that how that works?
that is correct.
Okay. Well, I tell you what. The dice tell the story. Everybody roll a D100. The 2 highest scores get the wild magic surges.
Cop out. Cop out. You had to pick your favorite, and you chose poorly.
Oh, I rolled so
I have
low.
to be in roll 20 for this, so I'd
That's-
probably lose all of
Yeah,
that.
you do. Yeah.
Will, I've never seen a double-digit roll on the D10,000.
You just rolled 77 on a D10,000.
I've never seen a
Nice.
double-digit roll
I
before.
don't think I've seen that either. Holy shit. Let's get through these.
in 2.5 years of streaming with you, I've never seen a double-digit.
In all my days.
The odds.
all my days.
So, Mike, your first wild magic surge is just 77.
Well, it's 11, 88, and
okay.
77. So,
Okay.
guys, lucky numbers today.
After each spell, caster has a brief vision of some distant land.
There you go,
That's
Greg. That one
pretty
should
cool.
be easy to put in.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Schultz.
11.
You're having
Schultz. Mike, you are intensely curious about the limits of your own mortality.
Okay, good. Like, I'm fine with mortality. I was hoping you were going to be like sexuality
No,
based on the last episode. I was like, oh no.
Amazing. Also, everyone else gets a wild magic surge from 4 brand, which you might as well roll now. Whilst we're going
Nice
through
to-
this
Yes, get ready.
wild magic phase. Dope.
Well,
55-78.
Nice. And 55-78 for Myth. Give us a moment here to go for all these donations, guys. Target disgorges a small and long-lost artifact of great power. That's dope.
Hidden within the wooden arm.
Yeah, and you wouldn't know. Just go, pop it out. There you go.
your arm does so much.
Yeah.
Myth, do a D100 too, bud.
Screw.
I did. It's 11.
So the 2 girls get the extra wild magic surge.
Oh god. Okay, as for me, my wild magic surge for 4 brand, everything within 1 foot of the target ceases to exist.
Oh, hold on. I have to go let my boyfriend in the house.
Okay, I'll allow it.
Everything
It's
with
not a wild magic surge.
Yeah.
That's not
Everything within 1 foot of me ceases to exist. That is dope.
within. Wow.
Yeah. Thanks,
So-
Scrap for the
The
raid.
black hole starts in
Yeah, I
front.
just start a fucking black hole apparently. Mike, when Mike opens his spell book or opens something else, he is shrouded by darkness.
Neat.
That's neat, actually. Haley, I think this is Haley's gravity within 100 yards has no effect on wood, which means Which means that
Nice.
his hand is just floating around in zero gravity. I love it. And Jules.
Effect on wood.
What a weird specific thing to end with.
This is dope. No, Jules is the last one here. Many thousands of birds soon take up residence in this area.
Oh no. Oh no.
Dope. Oh, and then
What
Haley's got one last one. All of Haley's fingers are clear like glass.
Yes,
Okay.
Cool.
you deserve this.
Neat.
Yes, you've earned this. So I'll send me your clothing. Damn it.
I'm actually, hold on, this area is like basically the comp's house. He can
Yeah.
literally get shit on. So
Yeah, I mean, like, he's got a fucking army of evil birds now.
no, they're not evil. They're just gonna sit there and shit on him.
It's gonna be.
He has an army of Disney princess birds. They
Yep.
just sing to everybody
It's come to me.
and don't stop.
And
That's
just
the evil
keep
part
bringing
of
him
it.
clothes that they think you look good in.
Yeah.
Right.
They just keep sewing things together.
Keep sewing.
They
want
birds.
stop
Barbs in constantly.
It's
Right.
beautiful. Well, yes, I can speak today. Those are our wild magic surges. Thank you guys so much for the donations. Greg, I'll hand over to you, my friend.
Absolutely. And so just to recap, I'm not sure if you already did this, Will, but we have the 3 guys got the crit successes.
Beautiful.
Right.
Sexist.
Should be.
Right. Okay, so to bring it back in and do a little recap of what happened last week, we've got a lot to do this week. So if you want the full recap, go check out YouTube. But otherwise, here's what happened in a nutshell. The group that you see before you was ordered by their captain Milan to go to an estate of one Comte Fenelic, somebody rumored to have both the ear of the queen and perhaps a desire to cause war in France. So they were sent to the estate in the hopes of finding evidence against him that either promoted an overthrow of the monarchy or was blasphemous, maybe a combination of both. Well, they ended up going, and by God, they found a lot. Among which they found a skinless pope. They also found a garden full of multiple colored roses and also several very blasphemous statues. The most blasphemous of which was the Madonna with child, with the Madonna, some type of beast, biting into the child's head and causing the water feature to bleed out of the infant's head. Any number of these things would cause the ability of it would cause the nobility, the aristocracy, and the commanding forces of Paris to be able to issue a warrant for the arrest, raid, or detainment of one Comte Fenelic. However, you must first escape with said evidence. The teams split up into 2 different parties. We had Michelle and Martine infiltrate the party as guest goers, where they experienced a whipping, a beating, an orgy. They had to partake in a few of those things.
Had to.
Yeah, they were forced. Somebody was,
Simply
Indian.
had to.
I just
Absolutely have to, darling.
Right. So yeah, they witnessed there was a man that was dressed up like Marie Antoinette, which everybody affectionately titled Murray Mantoinette. And Murray Mantoinette was beaten within an inch of his life, and he was drugged downstairs. This was witnessed by the other 3, Etienne Babin, Christophe, and the sergeant, as well as Dupois, just outside of the window. They snuck in, followed the trail of blood to the cellar, and found the man being flayed alive by 2 of the Comte's footmen. The bottom half of his skin, or his cheek, the skin below his cheekbone, was being pulled and yanked as it was being cut and skinned, as one would the hide of a deer or some other felled beast. Also, at the same time, up in the ballroom, the other 2 that were part of the party, Martine and Michelle, were privy to a couple notes from what was affectionately entitled The Music from Beyond by Comte Fenelic. This music was maddening. It was everything and anything that the mind could comprehend. It was the scream of a mother that had just lost a child, the wail of a lost child itself.
Yeah, Coldplay single.
It was. I think it was off. I forget which one, but yeah. So as Chris Martin was singing this song, and they were grabbing their ears in pain and horror, a shot rang out down in the cellar as Babin took a shot at one of the footmen during the exchange of violence downstairs. Now, the rest
First
of the
time
guests...
I missed, by the way.
First time you missed, yes. The expert shot, known as the one-handed Babin, did miss. And the shot didn't register with anybody upstairs, as normal volume was able to be suppressed. However, it seems that the Comte was able to hear it. He arrived in the form of a gaseous mist through the grate in the roof, formed in front of them, and as Michelle and Martin made their way out to Omelette du Fromage and the carriage just outside of the gates, deep inside the cellar, the 3 remaining inspectors were faced with Count Fenelick, who simply started to count. 1, 2, 3. And that's where we'll pick up our action, as the Sergeant, Dupois, Christophe, and Babin are staring at the recently reformed Comte Fenelick.
You also have 10 advantages from Irvin Lady, Greg, so just that's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you, Earthen. I appreciate it, but
That's
Right.
okay, so the Comte is counting. He has indicated the far staircase. It is obvious that he is giving you some type of head start. There is a smile on his face, and you do in fact have Marie Antoinette, who is still in the chair where he was being flayed. You also are, the 2 of your members are wounded in that the Sergeant and Christophe have taken blades. What would you guys like to do?
I believe we were running.
Turning around and running.
Yeah, running the fuck out of there. That's what I believe is going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're all hauling ass.
Yep.
I do have the wig still that I picked up.
Right. I was going to say, you have the wig. Both you and the Sergeant, Christophe and Sergeant Renault, are each carrying some of the mystical blades, one that was recovered back in the Rue de Vie and one that was just recovered down in the cellar.
Mhm.
You'll also notice on your Roll20 sheet that they now appear in your equipment. Yay.
Ooh,
Yay.
fancy.
Yeah, so what are you going to do with Marie Antoinette as he has a vacant stare basically 2 feet in front of Comte Fenelick?
Oh yeah, we're carrying him, aren't we?
Yeah, we're gonna have
You
to.
haven't even picked him up out of the chair
He's a
yet.
small
You
man.
stayed- He is a
not,
big guy.
He's not small.
Damn it. I was thinking he may have been a small person this whole time. Okay,
That makes that so much worse.
Okay, Christoph takes charge and he attempts to lift the man like to his feet and kind of like that arm thing to kind of like move him.
Okay, so you're going to do like a fireman's carry, like you're pulling the arm over the shoulder
Yeah.
and trying to drag him along.
where has he
As
been
he-
skinned thus far?
Just his feet,
Just
right?
one flap. Yeah,
Okay.
from about under his eye down, and it's kind of flapping
Just a flap.
as the muscle.
But
and the
he's
teeth-
been beaten for hours and starting
Yeah,
to
he's
cut.
fine.
So...
It's cool.
Roll me
Yeah.
a strength check when you do that.
It's just
and
an
I
old
will
man
tell
that's
you-
been beaten for
No.
hours.
Grab him by his flap. That's why it's there.
That's why they
It's a
put
handle.
that's why they put the flap there.
I'd rather
Come on.
not.
That's what it's for. It's for carrying your beer. Those things have flaps. This guy's now got a flap.
Flap it open.
Just grab it.
No.
It's not like
Grab
a.
the flap.
Yeah, do it. Yeah. It's
Pat, do you want to with your clean hand? Do you want to?
No, I'm doing my wooden hand because then
Aren't
we can
you-
float away.
That's all.
Because it floats away.
Zero grav.
Okay,
Grab
so as you grab hold of him, you realize right away that he is not assisting at all. He is 100% dead weight. Whether it's from injury of the body or injury of the mind, he cannot hold himself up.
That's an
Um,
actor.
Yeah, you do recall him getting savagely beaten, and that his legs and or ass were savaged by both blades and whips. So he was carried from the room that you guys witnessed his beating. It's quite possible he cannot support himself.
At least there's no flap on the ass, you know.
Well, you haven't checked.
I don't
He's
know
sitting
that.
He is sitting. If you wanna.
there. I said it was
I-
one of his cheeks.
I want to investigate.
His ass.
We don't have the time for that.
For a spot
I feel like
hidden on there.
Martin's sitting out there
Roll
with him,
an
and all of a sudden he's like, I
investigate.
want to investigate his ass. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, so does it look like they're struggling with this body? I guess it does.
Christoph cannot lift it.
Yeah.
Christoph kind of lifts, and whether it's Christoph's own injury in the bicep or a combination thereof, the Marie Antoinette falls back to the earthen floor of the cellar.
That
Sergeant Renault leads from the front, if he leads anything, and he brandishes this mystical knife that he has towards Comp Fenelic and tells the other two, "Get him! Get out of here!" As he takes up a defensive stance against Comp Fenelic.
Fenelic raises an eyebrow, and as the eyebrow goes up, so does the side of his mouth as he begins to leer, and you see that several of his teeth are pointed. From your earlier looking at him, your earlier, visual checks, he did not have pointed teeth. So as you're looking at him now, they're definitely registering as being a little pointed. So if this is the case, Dupois will help.
like
Dupois will
Piranha's
move in.
teeth, or like a bat's teeth.
Like they're all needling up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like grody shark teeth.
Right. Yeah, but thinner. So I guess more like a piranha.
Piranha.
Ugh, like all of them, not just like the canines.
Right. This isn't Twilight. Yeah. So this is
What do you think this is?
Damn it, I knew I showed up the wrong game.
right. I gotta take off my glitter now. Okay, so I need to know what Babin's doing. Are you helping Etienne, or
Yeah,
what
I'll
are you
help.
doing?
I'll help. Yeah, let's do that. I was gonna watch with a dumbfounded stare this entire.
Do I need to roll the stealth check or a
Just
stealth
hang
check?
out.
Strength check.
Just
No,
stare.
if it's all three of you are
socially
helping to
awkwardly.
pull him along, you're basically dragging him towards the stairs. You're moving at about a third of your total movement, though, as you are dragging, 100, 200-pound man through the dirt as he is just being
Why don't we just take
completely
his
low.
skin, his flap? We take the flap with us, and that'll be our evidence.
Yuck.
Flap it around.
You
Okay,
disturbed
so-
We got this.
They pull past the sergeant and begin to go down the tunnel with the torchlight down the hallway. They get about halfway there when Comp Fenelic reaches 20, and he takes a step towards Sergeant Renault.
So as soon as they've gotten like a decent bit of lead, Sergeant Renault still has the blade out, and he begins slowly like stepping back to follow them like behind, but he's always facing Comp Fenelic until he hears them hit the stairs, and then he'll turn tail.
Okay, so as you're backing up, they're still about halfway towards where they need to go when he begins walking. So you're kind of trying to keep pace and staying in front of him.
Mhm.
He has both of his hands like clasped very casually behind his back as he strides towards you. Is this truly what you want to do, Sergeant?
It is. I stand for France, not whatever nightmarish hell you plan to bring to it.
Perhaps we are on the same side, Sergeant.
My side would never do what you have done here.
Ooh, perhaps your side has done much worse. He takes another step towards you, and his steps seem to be about 2 of yours, as he seems to be gliding more than anything else, just slightly above the air, above the floor.
I don't like this guy, Greg. This guy's a shit.
You'll skate down.
Unfigure skater. Man, what the?
Way too long, Jane.
What are you doing here? What is all of this? Isn't that what people like you do? They have a large monologue and you tell me all of your secrets.
Does the wolf talk to the sheep? And he takes another step. He has covered about half the distance that you have given yourself as a buffer.
I don't understand.
You
your
just now
children's
hear
goodness.
you just now hear the others get to the bottom of the steps, and you hear them begin to thump, 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 as they're pulling the dragging feet and ankles of Marie Antoinette up the stairs, wherever that came from.
Mhm.
Up the stairs.
Yarr, up the stairs we go, Bearty.
Yeah, he's gonna
Careful
pick
up
up
the
his
stairs,
pace.
Miss Turner.
You best believe
Morning,
in
Tom.
stairs,
Big
Miss Turner.
monster.
You're in one.
Once he hears them on the stairs,
Oh,
he's gonna
push
pick
upstairs.
up his pace.
Okay. So as soon as you hear him go up the stairs, you're going to turn.
He's gonna pick up. He's at least gonna pick up his pace, like backing up faster, and then like once he gets close to the stairs, he's absolutely gonna turn and run up those stairs with everybody.
Also, 2 crit successes from Fan Yogscast to Christoph. Thank you, friend.
I'm a fan of Yogscast too.
Yeah.
We're just gonna make Haley
spelled Etienne
do all
wrong.
the things that need to happen now.
I still need my pets, by the way.
Oh yeah, disembodied
Yeah.
hand.
I have everything written down.
Everything on this notepad that I usually never look
Oh, holy shit.
at. Just put down my notepad.
Ginyu, the £20 donation. Myth gets a mount, the talking ass named Ginyu.
Nice.
It could go with omelette du fromage. We can pull the wagon together.
Yeah.
Oh,
Except mine's talking the whole time.
That's
It's
true.
like
That
it's
sounds
like,
exactly
it's like
like
Eddie
the one-
Murphy's donkey, but it's Ginyu the whole time.
Right.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Oh, that's great. Oh man.
Yeah, so he's gonna continue brandishing his blade at this guy, not quite taunting him, but just asking him questions like, what are you doing here? What is all of this? What atrocities do you speak of? That kind of jam.
He is not answering at all. He's just walking or gliding towards you. He's occasionally pulling out his hands, looking at his nails, as he is very aware of how quickly he is closing the distance. And he has the benefit of being able to see the progress of your friends, which we will cut to right now.
Mike is.
Babin, with the help of Dupois, are carrying these people up the carrying Murray and Mantoinette up the stairs. I'd like each of you, Babin and Christoph, to roll spot hiddens for me, please.
Mike is like when you try and get into the US, you have to fill out a form which says that you haven't committed any genocides and don't intend to. And Mike is like the guy that asks you that question, like, are you here to commit any genocides?
Yeah. It's my life.
Yeah.
always say no.
Well,
I like how that's actually
I
on there.
failed.
I'm drawing. I'm
oh, it
rolling a what?
totally is.
What am I rolling?
Okay,
Spot
spot hidden. Battle.
Spidden, if you will.
What do you see with your wooden hand? Nothing.
With my wooden hand, I failed surprisingly.
You mean
Okay,
your
so-
doesn't have binoculars?
It should. It has a little monocle.
It has one telescope attached to it. Failed me today.
Ooh. So, as you guys are pulling up everybody, and Etienne, you turn just in time to see one of the footmen as he rams a dagger into your stomach for 10 hit points lost. As he just jams it into your stomach, lifts you up from the ground, grabs you by the wooden hand and pulls it tight. As his face is mere inches from yours, you're dressed just like him. You have the same mask on. And as he grabs the hand, he pulls it down, almost ripping off the artificial limb as he lifts you. And Christoph, from behind, you see that the tip of the blade that is punched out through the back of your friend is dripping with blood and glowing blue.
I'm in shock.
How many hit points do you have, Mike?
I have 3 left.
That would have killed me. Jesus.
Also, Myth, I'm going to need you to roll a Constitution check because you just took a hellacious shot.
Yeah, I
That
did.
was Myth took that. Oh
Yeah,
man,
I
I
did.
thought it was Mike.
Oh.
Yeah, no,
I was like almost happy.
Oh.
Okay. Etienne's vision blurs for a second as he is staring at this creature that has just run him through in the literal and proverbial sense as he's lifting him up, almost spitting him like a trophy hunter would a prized kill. And as he lifts you off the ground, you drop Murray Mantoinette, but you're able to keep your own feet as your vision begins to tunnel for a moment. You shake your head and it comes back out. You've been through these types of things before. Your wooden hand is evidence that you can take quite a beating, but you are staring down the face of death right now. I need to know what you do in this moment. And Christoph, what do you do at this point? Dupois is following up the stairs with the ankles. You can order him to do something if you'd like, but you now see the person that has run through your friend.
He would drop Mantoinette and pull out the mystical blade to try to stab the guy back.
There's also,
go ahead and roll back.
There's also 2 heals for Myth from Fan
Hey, look at that.
Yogscast. I don't know how you
Nice.
want to do those, Greg. If you want to take those as actions or bonus actions or whatever, because I know that there's a lot more hit points at stake here. Nice. Whew.
Right. Yeah. That will take it. In lieu of your action, Myth, the way that we do heals here is your whole action would be spent using one of the heals. So that would be, it's a D10, right, Will?
That's right. Kind of like a second wind.
D10. Wow. All right. Yeah. I'll do that. Yeah, I'll take it.
Wow.
Wow. Roll a D10.
Oh, wow.
All right. I'm gonna do that. I just roll a D10.
Okay, and as you run through with the mystical blade, Haley, you're able to cut into the same arm that was holding up Myth. And as it cuts into the wrist, Babin is dropped as it releases the blade, and you see a gout of blood come in and out. And for a moment, you see a counter magic, almost like a red or a warm glow, but it seems to have been thwarted either by the space or by the proximity to Fenalik. As the healing magic that was bestowed from on high fizzles, but does provide a small measure of healing in the form of 1 hit point. It is now Dupois is going to give it the old college try here, as he sees that his friends are in desperate need. So Dupois will, let's see, what does Dupois have? He's going to charge up with his knife. Does he hit? He does. And he comes through and places the knife right at the throat and runs it over as blood sprays out of the skinless man that is holding Babin. It sprays over Babin, but for the moment, drops away and dies as he collapses, but it's created quite a log jam here in about halfway up the stairs. As you have this collapsed body, everyone's wounded except for Dupois. And Murray Mantoinette is lying on the stairs, sort of just writhing, staring vacantly in shock. You have taken the bottom of the steps, Sergeant Renault. You are witness to the fall of the man and the severe wounds that are now filling or staining from the stomach of Etienne.
Okay, where is this man? The one that stabbed Etienne? Is he still like crumbled at the top of the stairs?
Yeah, he's dead, like right at the, covering like the final 3 steps. His body's laying and splayed across as it's still kind of gouting blood out of the neck wound.
And does everyone seem to have positive control of Mantoinette again?
Mantoinette has been discarded. He's actually at your feet. Everybody dropped Mantoinette and moved forward to help Etienne. Dupois and Christophe have moved past him and were engaged with the combat. So Murray Mantoinette's kind of just lying right there. And as you turn around to regard this, as soon as you turn back around, Fenalik is maybe a foot away from you.
Shit. Quickly looking back, how bad does Etienne look?
Bad.
Real bad? Okay, cool. I reach down, or Sergeant Renault reaches down and grabs Mantoinette, and in a quick move, if I hopefully roll well enough, he pushes him towards Count Fenalik.
Okay, great. Yeah, roll me a strength check.
Fuck yes!
Oh yeah! Look at
Suck it,
you!
Count Fenalik!
Yes!
Okay,
Nice.
with an unbelievable strength that, Sergeant Renault is also wounded. He took a very deep slash to the chest in the last episode. He is able to reach down and almost one-handed, he just grabs this large man, this Murray Mantoinette, by the back of the neck, almost like a kitten, grabs him and just puts him right into Comte Fenalik. Fenalik's eyes widen as he reaches up to try to deflect this now crashing figure. Let's see if he can. Yeah, but that's nowhere near what he sort of needed to be able to beat an extreme, because that is just a hard. So as he gets thrown back, it takes him completely by surprise as he is off kilter a bit, as the body smashes into him and he gets pushed up against one of the sides. And for a second, you see the grin and the superiority that's on his face wash away as he grabs the man, rips the head from the body, and drops it to the ground as he starts striding with purpose this time. And you do notice that his feet are touching the earth. What would you all like to do?
So like as soon as he throws this body at this guy, like it's a distraction, and he starts scrambling up the stairs, kind of pushing the rest of his soldiers up the stairs as best that he can, to get them up and over that body that they dropped.
Okay, and you're trailing, right?
Yeah, I'm still the last person, the one closest
Okay.
to the Fenalik.
All right, so as you guys are rolling through there, I'd like everybody, you guys all have a chance here to take a sprint as soon as you get to the top of the steps. I want you all to roll me dex checks.
Oh, bless you.
Okay, so yeah, you guys are all just get up and in various states of injury. You roll through the front doors where the skinless Pope was formerly housed, but is now, strangely enough, not there. And as you burst out through the front doors and begin to go down, it seems that the entirety of the dinner party has been dispersed. There's no one left on the grounds, and there's about 500 feet from the front door to the front gates. And it is open, and there isn't any sign of any more of these footmen. I'm assuming you guys are going to run.
Yes.
Okay, so as you all are running, I'd like you all to roll spot hiddens for me, please. And then also, if we could have Martine and Michelle also roll these spot hiddens.
Oh, great.
Nice.
I see everything.
You're at the atomic.
Oh, if you've got it.
She's got it.
I've got, yeah.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
Snogging omelet du fromage.
Okay, did anybody get it from the escaping party? Yeah, Haley, you got everybody. Yeah, Haley got it. Okay, so as you guys are rolling out, Christoph, you kind of turn and kind of just to gauge where Comte Fenalik is. You see him kind of appear at the top of the steps and begin to glide through, stalking towards the front doors that he pushes through as you guys are running down the driveway. And as your gaze is drawn up to the roof of this palatial mansion estate of his, and as you look up, you see 5 figures that appear to be the nude form of 2 men and 3 women as they are spider crawling along the top of the building. And they seem to be just hanging and dangling from the gables, and they seem to kind of lower themselves off the edge, completely going vertical at some points as their heads are facing directly down towards the ground, yet they're still maintaining contact to this vertical surface. And they all stare and turn and look at Comte Fenalik as he pulls to the top of the steps, looks at all of you, and waves his hand as they begin to drop off the roof and land in the grass and begin to streak towards you. I need you guys to roll another dex check. And Martine and Michelle, you have all seen this. You see your friends being chased by a pack of naked people. You see Comte Fenalik standing on the stairs, and I need decisions from you right now. Are you going to help your friends? Are you going to ready the carriage? Are you going to run? Let me know.
I'm
Wait,
making the carriage ready.
Sorry, I thought we were too far away to see this, but yeah, let's get.
No, you're actually right outside the gates. That's where
Yeah.
Let Diplomatie and the carriage were stationed.
Yeah, I think we get the carriage ready. I
Yep.
think in the meantime,
Quick.
Martina's like changed back into her like boy clothes, and to get like some semblance of a disguise back, and yeah, get the carriage ready.
I'm just going, chuck all my shit in the back and start getting omelette du fromage ready.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
we're getaway car mode.
Okay, so as you guys are getting everything ready, you begin to move, and you know everything seems to kind of slow down as you guys see that there's a definite problem coming, and you're trying to hook up the omelette du fromage, the trusty steed. And as everything kind of slows to a crawl for you all, it speeds up as the 3 that are terribly wounded are pulling themselves through. I need a constitution check from Sergeant Renault, and I need a hard constitution check from Etienne as he is bleeding profusely.
Oh.
Oh, nice. Etienne's able to pull himself up as he is able to just continue to stagger and go through. One more dex check from everybody, please.
And if it was in that
The
one,
3 of them are us 2.
I think the 3 of them.
Yeah, the runners I need dex checks from. And I'm not even that big a dick. I'm not going to do that right here. Myth, can I have a dex check, buddy?
Oh, Dex, sorry. I thought I did that one. Good. Wow.
Oh, 100. That's a critical fail.
Perfect. Makes sense.
All right,
Of
so
course. His hand gets stuck.
as Sergeant Renault and Dupois and Christophe pull through the gates and kind of get closer to the readying carriage and omelette du fromage, as everyone's kind of in various states of preparation and flight, a couple of you look back just in time to see Etienne fall. And Etienne trips and falls, and as he puts his hand out, you see the wooden hand break off as he lands to the ground and kind of slides a bit in the gravel as he is unable to get himself up in time. And you see as one, the 5 figures jump and land on top of him, and they begin ripping and tearing at Etienne as you see him trying to fend them off. And within seconds, it is still beneath the 5 as they look up, blood dripping from their chins, as they, eyes completely black, lock onto the remaining investigators, and they begin to advance. And at this point,
Oh no!
I'm so sorry, but we have to leave. We can't be
Get his hand. It's
Get
his,
his
it's his
The
phylactery.
only thing left is a wooden.
It's his
a
phylactery.
broken wooden hand.
Broken wooden.
F for Babin.
at this point, I need to know what you all would like to do as they are advancing. They seem slowed somewhat by the feast that they've just undertaken, but behind them you hear the laughter of Comte Fenelick as he sees that one of your number has fallen.
Christoph, in a panic, would be shouting for them to leave, but he would also load his musket to try to like shoot one of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, everyone
What
gets
are
an
these-
advantage from Fan Yogscast. Make him a friend.
What do these things look like?
Have you ever
Naked
seen? Yeah. Have you ever seen Penny Dreadful second season? Which is there
Yes.
you go.
Okay, cool. Fuck. This is where we get a TPK. So
Right?
seeing Etienne go down, or like I assume he makes like some kind of my hand as he falls. So
A French
Sergeant Renault
Wilhelm
turns around
scream.
and sees him fall and sees everything descend down on him. And like in the time it takes for everyone to register what the hell is happening, he pulls out his. Oh, he gave it to Etienne. No! He pulls out that magical dagger again, and he says, "Open fire!" And he runs towards these 4 or 5 things.
Don't run towards them.
No
Okay,
combat.
so-
There's no combat in Cthulhu. We just die.
We just die.
Yeah, but we're war soldiers, and several of us have survived previous
Right.
encounters.
Oh,
I
my
feel like-
God.
Oh
Okay, so
That is true.
Sergeant
like-
Renault.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yep. Oh no, go right ahead, man.
No, I was just thinking how in other Call of Cthulhu's, like, you're not usually a fighter, so you don't want to go into situations fighting, but, like, this is probably, like, what we do, right? We're like, okay,
It's
we're
a very
fighting
good
now.
point,
We have been
yeah.
drilled
we're
into
we're not
fighting.
investigators.
Yeah, we are
We
soldiers,
are
yeah.
soldiers. It's a very good point.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
I
what-
feel like
Yeah, stand for
feel like-
France, yeah.
Martine would be in the carriage, but the door would be open, so she's gonna lean out and get her gun and try
Yeah,
to
I think
shoot.
Michelle's probably doing the same thing, you know, now that
Yeah.
that kind of makes sense to me that I should probably be roleplaying that way.
And she's gonna scream. She's gonna be like, "Get in the fucking carriage! What are you doing?" But she's also going to be shooting at them at the same time.
Yeah, I fire.
Okay, so I need everybody's current movements. We have Sergeant Renault has pulled his blade and issued a charge as he is advancing on the 5 naked people that has just gutted and slayed Etienne Babin, friend and comrade. I need to know what Dupois will follow. He's following the sergeant's orders and charging with him.
I kind of shout,
What is
Sergeant,
this?
get out of there! As I see Babin fall.
Yeah, where is Michelle in relation to everything? Is he advancing?
he's-
Is he staying by the carriage?
Yeah,
Is he...
I think like he's by the carriage of Omelette du Fromage, but when he sees the sergeant going in, he is super foolhardy and just loves France and just loves the sergeant. So he sees him being brave, and he advances with all the naivety that, you know, being a young man in the army brings. So he is like advancing with his flintlock and firing as he goes.
Okay. And then what is Kristoff doing?
Kristoff fired his musket.
Okay, give me a shot. Well, everybody's already taking shots. Look at that. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, the first shot.
If I could get to them, I'm going to slash at one of them with the blade.
Okay.
Yeah, after I shoot him running in with my blade.
I think Joseph hit one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Joseph.
I hit one.
Both Joseph
Both of us
and
did.
Nice. Oh, you're
Kristoff
right.
did. I'm gonna say you guys hit the
crawled
same
out of the
one.
carriage, just like propping the door open, and at the same time, just like, get in the carriage, like, you idiots, we're going to die.
Okay, so yeah, where is Martine then in everything? Is she?
She
Like,
was
in
in
the
the
carriage
carriage
still?
because, like, I think the plan originally was like, Michelle was like gonna be driving, getaway driver, and she was in the
Yeah,
carriage. And she
he's
was like
gone out
leaning
now.
out the door, and she's doing the thing that someone does that's like, get in, get in, get in, get in. I'm gonna shoot for you, but she's like, why are you all running towards these things?
Okay, so you're
she's
basically right,
driving.
like, hanging out of the carriage, right?
Hanging out of the carriage, shooting at these.
Okay, yeah, like the doors open on the carriage, you're shooting back
Yeah.
out. Okay, gotcha. All right, so as you all advance, I'm going to say that the two shots that were fired by Kristoff and Martine both hit the same one. It blasts large chunks of meat out of the left thigh and the kind of farther up on the body and spins the creature off to the side. Four still advancing. You will be able to meet first, and I'm going to give the sergeant, since it's a hell of a noble effort, man. You're charging in there. You get one shot, and I'm going to let Dupois get a shot in too. So go ahead. And roll.
I drop a crit
Nice.
on whichever one is like on top of Etienne.
Okay, well then roll your attack, and then we'll see what the damage modifier will be for that.
So stressed.
Okay, so in this noble son of France that is the very core of Sergeant Renault, he saw his friend Etienne, who's been with him through the Anglo-French wars when they were helping the Dutch, and he runs forward, and with the same similar movement as what ultimately felled his friend, he lifts and jams it right under where the rib cage would be on this creature, and his knife flares blue and burns around the outside of this thing, and the smell, almost like a mixture of bacon and baked earth, kind of rip out of this thing as it burns and turns to ash, and finally your entire hand breaks through as this creature just crumples like burning leaves around you, and you are now staring at three of them. Dupois, because that was a hellacious amount of damage you just did to him. There are three
Why
of
you
the
make
win
it smell like bacon? What the fuck are you?
because I want to ruin bacon for everybody. It's my idea. He's gonna take a shot.
That is a step too fucking far. Let me tell you what.
You may take Babin, but you do not take bacon from us.
you have taken a lot from us.
You took
Dupois.
Babin.
You took Inspector Gadget from us.
What?
You ruined
Dupois.
sex parties.
You ruined sex party.
And now you've ruined bacon.
I can't go to any sex parties anymore. Okay, so
You ruined
as
the
you
ball with the key.
Dupois fires, and the one that was hit before by Martine and Kristoff is starting to get back up. Its wounds seemingly healed, as at the last minute Dupois turns and fires and blasts it off into the hedges with a shot perfectly placed in center mass. He throws his musket down and pulls out his blade and advances with the sergeant as they begin to fall on the two of you. Ooh, that ain't gonna work. I'm gonna actually use one of my crits right here.
Don't do that.
And for 9 damage into the Sarge, they begin to tear down across and rip into the valiant son of France, as much like they did with Babin. They fall on Sergeant Renault and begin tearing chunks out of him as you see parts of him fly away. He's still fighting and sweeping with the glowing blade, but it becomes weaker and weaker. And you see Dupois kind of shoulder lead into him to knock one of them off. And then quickly, he too is overwhelmed by their superior strength. And he is pulled down into what is only a huddle of death. And beneath it, there are no screams because Sons of France do not scream. There is simply an end. I'd like to know what Christophe and what Martine are doing.
Martine has made a decision that we are leaving.
Okay. Michelle, you have been charging as well.
Yeah, I'm
you were
charging up
farther
there.
back because you took a shot. Are you going to charge in with them?
How many of these guys are there?
3 and 1 was knocked off into the woods.
Yeah, like Michelle watches the sergeant like take this huge hit, and it's like, Sergeant, no! And seeing as I've shot my flintlock, and it's gonna take like minutes to reload this thing probably, right? I just go in with my bayonet, which is gonna be better. Anyway.
Is Martine faster runner than he is?
What is Martine's dexterity to Michelle's?
Mine's 50.
My dex is 60.
Nice.
Martine, her decision is that like the second she sees the sergeant fall, she knows everyone's gonna die if we stay. So she was going to run, grab Michelle by the collar like a mom, and start pulling him back to the carriage and shout for Christophe to get in.
Oh yeah. You can like totally Frodo me as Gandalf dies. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna Frodo you.
I'm like, no, slow mo. Sergeant! My hand goes out.
She's gonna scream. She's gonna be, Christophe, get in the carriage, and she's gonna hop in the little driver's seat, and it's time to go.
Yeah, having been like snapped out of it by Joseph, I'll run back to the carriage.
Okay, so Christophe, what are you doing?
So, Christophe had stopped the moment that Babin got hit to turn around and shoot. So he is much closer to these creatures than he is to the carriage. He would have turned around to to keep fighting. He would have tried to honor his sergeant and die for France. So he would run in with his blade and fail. I should have used that 20. I have 3 left. Can I take that? Can I take that?
Well, let's do this. Let's do this for the point of arrow. As you turn very Jon Snow against the Horde in Battle of the Bastard, and you pull your blade out as these creatures, these fell creatures, are beginning to fall on you. Michelle, you are thrown in the back of the carriage as Martine jumps into the front and she whips Omelette du Fromage, and the horse, very, very eager to get away from the smell of blood, and this crazy scene begins to move. And Michelle, as you fall inside the carriage, the door kind of slams shut next to you, and you look up and you see the trouser legs of some gentleman sitting in the carriage. And as your eyes go farther up, you notice that he's holding some type of, like a pendant or some type of amulet of some type, or it might even be one of those new kind of pocket watches that are coming out of Switzerland. And he looks at it and he's shaking his head and he says, No, this isn't how it's supposed to go. No, damn it, I didn't want to do this yet. Hold on, boy. And you see him click the watch, and the 3 of you disappear. All of a sudden, yeah, the 3 of you that are still alive disappear. And as you are kind of floating in this absence of space, Christophe, you were just ready to be run over by this horde as it came at you, and you were ready, you were prepared to die, and all of a sudden they're gone, and you're in this inky blackness. And there's this strange little man standing beside you. He's dark complected, perhaps of maybe Turkish descent, and he looks at his...
Oh no.
Sorry.
I know who this is.
And he says, look, this is supposed to go down a different way. You're gonna need this. And he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out what looks like a toy. And upon inspection, it's some type of wind up, it almost looks like a badger, and he hands it over to you, and he says, it's real good at digging. Boom, another blink and you're gone. All of a sudden, Christoph, Martine, and Michelle are standing in what looks like a trench. And it's filled with foodstuffs. There's barrels of water. There's different type of resupply areas. This is definitely a battlefront area. You see dried bread. You see barrels of dried fish. There's just all kinds of stocks, powder, blankets, boots even are all lined up in this trench, but there aren't any soldiers. And in the background, you hear explosions of artillery fire and return fire and exchanges and the whistling of artillery as it goes over your head. And you're able from this position to look up and you see a slight rise, a slight hill. And on top, there is a cannon. And at the cannon, you see Etienne Babin with 10 working fingers as he is, for some reason, by himself, working an artillery station. You see him packing the cannon. You see him going back, arming the fuse, pulling it and sending the cannonball out of the way, and then going right back to repacking it. You see no other soldiers, but you do hear return fire as whistles are coming from everywhere. And it is the Etienne that you remember, only he's younger, not as weathered. His hand is fine. It's the left hand that you've come to associate with him is functional in flesh. And as you're standing in shock, you realize that Sergeant Renault is standing beside you, only he too looks younger. And Sergeant Renault and Etienne Babin, this is the battle where the French helped the Dutch when the English were trying to take their port city slightly after the American Revolutionary War. And you are overlooking an unnamed port city as your job was to issue defense and issue support by firing artillery down on the English ships that were docking. You were in charge of much more men since there aren't any here at all. This is just as it was, with one exception. Instead of the crystal clear blue sky of that fell day, the sky itself is purple and swirling. It looks like liquid amethyst as it drips down the horizon, almost like it's running from some great sphere that you are now housed in. And as you look and see this difference, Etienne, you remember this day. This is the day that, and just at that moment, a hot shell hits from the enemy, rolls over towards the powder keg of your artillery station, briefly sets the barrel alight as you put your left hand above your face, and boom, the explosion goes off. Etienne, you know no more as you are knocked away. Sergeant Renault, Michel, Martine, and Dupois is still there, and Christophe. You all feel the rock, feel the explosion as tons of dirt from the hill roll down into the trench, filling half of it, trapping Christophe and trapping Martine in this dirt. Christophe up to the waist, Martine completely covered farther down the trench. What would you all like to do? You all, except Babin, who has been knocked unconscious, you are all awake and somewhat aware of every event that has happened to this point.
So I think not fully aware of what's going on, but fully involved in the moment, much like his recent death, seeing the explosion and seeing his ally and friend kind of go get tossed by this thing. As everyone kind of comes to and realizes what the hell's going on, Renault takes off towards the unmoving form of Etienne. Because there's just, as far as he knows, there doesn't seem to be anyone else around. So he books it towards this cannon, and he's like kicking fire and smoldering metal out of the way as he looks frantically for Babin's body. You're muted.
As you're kind of moving up, you realize that the entire area where the artillery station is now a crater, and you're furiously searching. I need a spot hidden from you, and I also need an extreme spot hidden from Christoph.
Okay. No.
Okay, so yeah, you are able to find Etienne as he is crumpled at the bottom of the hill. His left hand is gone. It is now the stump that you remember, but strangely enough, it is not bleeding. And he looks older as he is lying there in a bit of a daze. And also strangely enough, just slightly off to the side, placed on a handkerchief of silk design, is the wooden hand as it rests, almost being presented to whoever would find Babin.
Yeah, I don't think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go right ahead.
I was gonna say I don't think he would fully realize it in the heat of what's going on, that he's not bleeding and that there's like a hand and like there's all these weird things going on with the explosion and the haze of battle. I think he like tears off some cloth and wraps it around the stump and then like grabs whatever's around, like if there's gunpowder around or something, and like packs it onto the wound and then lights it so that it cauterizes what he imagines is a bleeding stump of his hand.
So a natural 20 for Joseph from Forbrand. Thank you, my friend.
So he at this point he basically goes through the motions of what he would do in the situation as someone that blew off a hand or a limb.
Okay, Etienne, you are back among the living. You remember your own death. You remember being torn apart, and you have just relived the second most traumatic thing that's ever happened to you, the loss of your left hand. I need you to roll a sanity check for me, my friend.
Right, yeah.
Am I correct in thinking Michelle is here as well, Greg?
Yes, I'm sorry, Michelle is there, but he is not currently buried he's in the trench, what remains of it,
okay.
And he's knocked off to the side.
Also,
yeah,
Isriva donates for Wild Magic Surge from Michelle and Joseph, so a D10,000 there as well, Jules. Hello, myself.
Maybe I could fold?
Good question.
Yeah, nice. Okay, Myth, you are able to, even though you have relived the insanity that was the day that you lost your hand and your own death, you're able to kind of push it aside, and because you survived the sanity check, you can stop the good sergeant from burning what is an otherwise perfectly healthy arm, albeit one without
minus the hand.
My Wild Magic Surge is incredible for this moment. The most valuable item within 50 yards turns out to be a fake. It's Myth's hand. It's a fake hand.
It's not a real hand.
It's not a real hand.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's great.
Myth, when you see the wooden hand, you realize that it's pretty good. It looks a lot like yours, except, like the middle finger is just slightly more extended than the others, as if it's just in the process of perhaps giving a gesture. So it's a good copy. It's just not exact.
I'm gonna make my way over to where they are as well as Etienne's getting up.
Renault's about to burn the...
Yeah, you would basically see he's wrapped your perfectly fine stump in cloth and then packed like gunpowder on top of it and then wrapped it again, and he's taking a torch or some kind of fire he's about to take it to the fabric where the gunpowder is to ignite it and cauterize the wound.
Yeah. I'm probably freaking out.
Last I knew you were unconscious, so as soon as you freak out, he stops.
They said I'm back among the living.
Yeah, so when I ran over, you were out cold. So as soon as I begin to, and you start freaking out, he lets go of your arm. He says, Babin, are you?
And probably starts screaming because now it's on fire.
And he quickly he's patting it off. He's like, what happened? Are you? And he kind of looks around and kind of sees the people out of the corner of his eye. Get over here. We need assistance. Come help. Not really registering who it is.
What happened to my arm?
You were struck. A cannon hit you. We have to defend the coast. And he looks back to see where the cannon is and if it is serviceable at all.
It is not. The cannon has been destroyed, and if it hadn't been destroyed, Babin would have been fully killed. But in this recreation or retelling of the history, the same thing happened. The cannon sacrificed its own life.
Thanks,
to just
cannon.
cost him, Rip cannon. Just to,
Cannon.
cost you your hand.
It's canon.
It's
It is canon.
I'm gonna run
Okay,
over.
so-
Sergeant, Etienne, how can you be here? What? Am I dreaming?
Tell yourself, where else would we be? We have to defend the coastline.
Ah!
And he
Ah!
looks around. He looks around at all of you, kind of befuddled. Man the battlements, go! And he's pointing towards where I assume other embankments would be.
I start to do so.
There are no other apparent soldiers. There aren't any other battlements or fortifications. It seems like it's this hill and just a picturesque, almost matte painting of the rest of the Dutch coastline. But let's cut back to Christoph. Christoph, you did not roll an extreme spot hidden, so you did not see exactly what it was that hit you in the face before it hit you in the face, but something literally slapped you across the face as you were kind of half buried in this fallen trench. And as it hit you and smacked and dropped to the ground, for a moment you look down and you see a very burnt, very shattered three-fingered hand as it's lying on the ground by your feet. And after a moment, it turns an ashen blue and kind of floats away. But instead of going anywhere, it goes into you. And you see the particles as you try to dust them away, and it goes into your uniform or the outfit that you were wearing and disappears inside you. It seems to leave no mark, no stain, but it is now somewhere. And as you're standing there, you realize that Martine has been completely covered by this mini landslide that has come down. And you are reminded of something that recently happened during your transport.
Well, he would have like dug himself out and would have tried to find her to dig her out.
You can roll me a spot hidden.
Oh yeah, Joseph's wild magic surge is she spends 1d4 rounds attempting to ignite her shoes. Good.
Okay. What we're gonna do with that one at this particular moment is roll me a d4.
All right.
You know what? I'm gonna use 9 luck. Might as well. I haven't used any luck.
That's a 4.
Okay.
Good.
You have 4 rounds until you suffocate.
Okay.
You are
well,
currently.
That's good.
I used luck
Okay.
to pass that spot hidden.
Rough idea of in relation to where she was standing before the explosion went off, and it seems to be at least an 8 to 10 foot swell of loose dirt and rock.
Can I like try from my end? Can I try to like? Is there anything? Can I make a check to try to?
I tell you what, make a strength check to see if you can do anything to kind of move it a bit. This will be a need to be an extreme though.
Also, Christoph has a wild magic surge from Isriva. The troll.
No, that's a fail.
Would be good, guys.
Wait, can I?
So Christoph would also shout to Michelle, because I assume he would still be in the trench, like, we have to find her. She's somewhere in this area.
Okay. 4448. If you are beheaded, the person that slays you must make a will or some kind of saving throw or go insane.
Well, that's a nice vengeance.
That's good to know, yeah, vengeance.
So if I ever get beheaded, guys, just know they'll suffer.
Yeah.
You mean like
I'll see a guillotine.
Yeah, by a guillotine.
Yep.
The third estate's coming.
If that's me that ends up in the guillotine. It's one
you
of
have
us.
to remember. Hey, it's one of you guys. Okay, so
I'm gonna help her search.
okay, so you guys are all starting to dig. 1 round has passed. I need you to roll an idea roll for me,
Okay.
Christoph.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Here's an idea.
Is that intelligence?
Yep.
Yes, it.
I'm not very smart.
Okay, you're just in the heat of the moment. It's just you know, it's very, very traumatic, and there's adrenaline, and then you've seen people die, and now they're back, and you're in a place with a purple sky, and you were transported here, and you're not exactly sure what's going on. I need a strength check from anybody who's digging, including who might be digging the other way, Martine.
I'm actually really strong, so.
I succeed on that.
Oh,
You're
thank
so
goodness.
strong.
Yeah.
I failed my first strength check.
Fucking like tanky for some
No.
reason. Got 19
Okay, so you
strength.
guys are able to dig. You dig down about a foot. You're rolling rock out of the way. You're rolling pieces of like what used to be the rests that the cannon sat on, like kind of like a brick mason type of stand. Pieces of it have come down. You're pulling it up, but you've gone down about a foot of the 8 to 10 feet that you need to go. That's round 2. I'll let you make another idea roll, Christoph. One around.
Damn it, Gustav! Start having ideas.
I don't want to use my nat 20s on this. I also don't want you to die. I'm sorry.
This would be just the worst way to die. Like, just
So
our
much
own
hate.
inadequacy
Okay.
kills you.
Is
Do I
Renault?
get to re-roll my strength every round to like try?
Okay.
Yeah, strength for the diggers because that gauges progress about how far you're getting down.
Is Renault aware of what the hell's happening?
That's a success from
Yeah,
me.
he's.
I mean, I
he's
did
people, like,
shout it. Like,
you know, dogs, you know, scraping at this ground and like throwing rock behind them and stuff. Technically, it's only been, you know, 30, 45 seconds since it started, and you've been over with Babin, so.
So hearing the noise and seeing that Babin is relatively okay, if not confused, can I try to roll this idea thing to see if I can sergeant these guys to fucking figure this shit out?
Sergeant.
no, apparently I'm trying to remember something.
Yeah, like 4 monkeys fucking a coconut over here as they try to dig this person out of the ground.
Is it the next round?
Is the next round. This is the 4th round.
I'm gonna nat 20 the idea roll. Let me know.
Okay.
I wanna know.
He's gonna die real soon.
As you nat 20 the idea roll, a recent conversation filters through your mind as you are handed a toy and you hear a voice say, "This
It
is
was
really
me that
good."
got handed it to me?
Yeah.
I thought it was Michelle that he handed it to you.
No, I heard Chris.
Chris-
That's why I didn't trigger in my head. Like, what do I remember? I don't know.
I don't remember this stuff.
Yeah, so, and in your pocket is a clockwork badger.
Did we
The chicken.
did we hear the conversation with Mecria, the mysterious
No.
figure? Okay. Okay.
No, you saw this mysterious figure in the carriage before you disappeared, Michelle, and then in the interim of the transit,
Okay,
there was the
that.
exchange with Chris.
Okay.
Okay. He would rapidly pull out of his pocket, remembering it, and he would click it through it as he assumed that's how the toy would work.
Okay, it kind of sniffs the air in a very robotic, almost like a sprinkler type of movement as it goes back and forth, and then it leaps from your hand, and in something a move beguiling its own size, it moves about a half ton of earth all around the body of Martine as it's just gone. And you see your friend lying there as she pushes up, very Uma Thurman Kill Bill style, from, you know, a sheen of 6 to 8 inches of earth as she punches up, covered in the soil, the rich dark soil of the coastline, as she's standing there looking at the rest of you. And the badger is back in your pocket.
Nice.
What the fuck was that?
And we're no
It's
longer in
you,
the battle.
so-
It's
I don't know.
what? Was that you, Chris? That was impressive.
Some strange man gave it to me, and it saved you, so that's
Yeah.
what matters.
Yeah. Just hold on to that, please. This is not what to die today.
I don't think any of us want to die today.
Some
Now,
of us did. What?
They
I
already
was
have died.
Just now sees the sergeant and Etienne, and she's like, "What's the? What? Did we die and I missed this, and we are now in hell?"
I don't know where we are, but we are not where we were.
Well,
We're still at the battle.
He
on the
kind of like
coast, so-
glances up at the sky, how it's like purpley and different than our normal skies.
She's gonna follow his gaze and she's gonna say, all of you are here, so is this not heaven?
Maybe we are in purgatory.
This is where you need to be. And you look over and you see the smaller man holding the watch or whatever amulet it is in his hand as he's, observing the motions of whatever mechanism it is. And he kind of clicks it shut for a second as he looks over. Can't have you all fallen down yet.
Who are you?
That is a very good question. Who did you?
I'm
Is this the man that gives you the badger?
I'm a benefactor of friends. I don't want to see you all fall by the wayside.
Your accent is strange, English.
Yes. Are we not at all?
You have about time enough for 2 questions.
I have more than 2 questions.
Maybe we should ask how to defeat the Comte.
Yes, I like that question. Let's ask that one. How do we defeat the man with the scary magics and the Pope that has no skin?
Talk to your doctor friend, Regalt. He knows.
That is very interesting because he did not come off as, how do you say, competent.
Well, he's sick. It's 2 different things.
I told you
one
we should
more.
have gone to see him from the start.
Didn't say shit, Michelle. Shut up. He was just saluting the sergeant.
I do. No, I said that in episode 3. So there.
Oh, okay, the doctor. How do we get back there? We are not. How do we?
Oh, you're gonna be back in a few seconds.
Okay, so that does not count as the second question.
You might not have
That does not count.
Does Greg, is Renault back in the full attire he was in when he died?
You guys are actually dressed in your normal soldier uniforms.
Okay, so he doesn't have all the things on him that he had at the moment of death.
You have the knives, the 2 mystical knives that Christoph and Renault had are both still on them.
So at this point, he's been kind of like swimming in what the hell's been happening as like the din of battle fades down and everything kind of comes back to him. And as everyone's bickering about a question, he pulls out the dagger and says,
What is this?
This is also a good question.
He kind of steps up a little bit and looks at it, and he traces 2 what look like concentric circles with his finger, and you see the symbol raise out of the blade itself. And he looks, he's just maybe a foot away from you, Renault, and he says, "It's right here, mate. This is one of your only chances." And he closes the watch, and he looks over at the people in front of him. "You all have a job to do. Don't fuck up again." And there's a snap, and the world begins to spin and sputter, and boom, you're outside of the gates of Versailles. Omelette de Fromage is pleasantly chewing some grass just outside. The carriage is strapped to the back, and all of you look as you did in the dream, dressed in your soldier uniforms. The possessions of the knife Christoph has, the knife that the sergeant has, and the bloody wig of all that remains of Murray Mantoinette still in your possession as you stare down the Palace of Kings in southern France, or south of Paris, France.
What has just happened? How could we
"Is
have been
anyone
there?
around us?"
You can see people inside the gates. There's perpetual movement inside of Versailles. You see that there is Versailles, right? We did joke last
You
week.
say Versailles, I say Versailles.
Versace.
Right. Yeah, you can see there's always movement inside, but from your position, there's nobody coming in or exiting from this particular artery into the palace.
Man. I think Ronald just traces his finger over the concentric circles and sees if anything happens. And then when nothing happens, he kind of looks to everyone and says, "What's the fuck?" and throws the
Roll a
blade
power
at-
check for me.
Oh, fuck me running. Sure. Oh, it turns out I'm really great at power checks, guys.
Ready?
You kind of mirror what you saw the strange gentleman do as you run your finger over the concentric circles, and for just a minute, you see a light blue glow pop up off the blade.
I think even harder he throws the blade, seeing that he just did what seems to him as like magic. He throws it and looks at everyone and says, "What? What happened? What?"
I don't think any of us know, Sergeant. 1 minute you were out there and dead, and so was Etienne, and the next we were back along the coast, and that man, the
Can I
English
still
man.
bloody stump?
No, your arm is the exact way as it normally is without the wooden hand on it, but you do have the wooden hand with the slightly extended middle finger, the one that's almost just like yours.
Wait,
but
I do not have a bloody stump.
No.
You do not have a bloody stump. Nope.
Same
What a
as
strange
The
normal.
hand.
explosion went off, but your stump is the scarred, nubbed remain that it was, for the majority of your time after the accident.
Oh, but I have the stump. Okay.
It is.
Yeah, you
It
don't
is.
Yeah,
have
you
a
have a
hand. You have a
stump,
wooden
just not
hand.
blood.
Got it. It's not a bloody one.
Yeah.
Got it.
It
I was
is-
like,
it
what,
is
what,
like-
we went back in time and then gained it and then took it away? All right, we're good now.
It is like we traveled through time. Because we could not have been at the battle along the coast again. That was a long time ago. This is now, but we were definitely there. We couldn't all have dreamed the same thing. Could we? We all saw the same man.
Yeah,
Yes, it's like it happened now. We lived it like it happened now.
yes, I think it did happen now.
How can that even be? You can't travel through time. That English man, he seemed to know everything. He knew how to defeat the Comte. He said we need to speak with Dr. Rigaud.
Christoph, who is this man? You spoke to him. He spoke to you.
He
Seemed to
gave
know
you a
us.
badger.
I don't understand what that means, but
Trust me.
He did not give me a name though. I don't know who he is.
why did he speak to you? Do you know him?
I do not.
There was a message left for you when we got to the printing press. Maybe he knew who you are. Maybe he's been following us.
The message was, "See you soon, Christoph."
And he did
This
see
is
us.
true. Michel is correct. Do you know the Comte? Have you seen him before?
No, out of character, I I know the comp. The Christoph does not know the comp.
I don't understand.
But he did not seem to be allied with the Comte.
He did not.
He saved us. He saved our lives. You were dead from Comte's things that killed you. He brought us back. He saved us. So he must have come after the Comte was there. He must have seen what happened.
Why would this man who seems to be a savior of some kind write a message in blood for Christoph?
I think that message was from the Comte. I do not.
I agree.
The man with the pocket watch.
No.
I don't think we should trust this man, but he could help us.
Yeah,
in
saved
the
our
future.
lives.
Like he could have saved our lives.
He can travel
to
through
further his
time.
gain or something. We don't know.
He can control
He's
time
literally
itself.
right.
He is a god.
Shut up, Greg. Okay.
That was blasphemy.
Don't.
Well, I DM'd horror on your Orient Express. I know what's going on.
I don't understand what is happening. What?
I think our next step, we need to go back to the doctor.
We need to talk to Dr. Rigaud. He might know more. This English man, he knew the doctor, and he said he could help. So we must go. We must go and find Dr.
Go there
Rigaud.
now.
Just like I said.
So this should be our next step.
What time does it look like, Greg?
It looks like morning. And the sergeant would remember that Captain Milan said to report back to him at Versailles when you had any evidence or after you were able to recon.
See, he has led us back here.
Yes. We will. No. We must see Sergeant Milan or Captain Milan.
And do you think he will believe us?
I think that he will.
I think he will.
Oh, yes. You will tell him that you were dead, and so is Etienne. And he will say, okay. And he will go, no.
And you can tell him that you are actually a woman and not a man. Hmm?
He will believe that. That is a thing I can prove. Don't worry.
Listen, my lady, if you speak with such impudence, you'll wish you were a man.
I don't know what that means.
What does that mean?
I don't know what that means.
What does that
Sergeant,
mean?
you're spouting nonsense.
It's so scary.
Forceful. Really like.
It was very aggressive
That was
nonsense.
really aggressively like, what?
I want
It
to.
was believable until he was like, wait.
I really want to read into that.
No idea what you're talking about.
I want to follow that path of logic and see where it leads me.
I had that
Not
Joey
a thing.
DeVivre just flowing through me. I don't know
No,
what
you got
happened.
that
You wish you were a man.
Man about.
Hey.
Wish you were a dude.
You better stop crying before I make you cry about.
That one for whatever
So
that was.
scary on so many levels. That could be terrifying.
We just gotta keep punishing you every time your roleplay is just gone.
Scariest thing I've ever heard.
It's gonna devolve.
That's what Will and I have been doing for the past 2 years.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
punishing him every time he
Every time he
starts roleplay.
speaks.
Yeah.
Keep him in his place.
Yeah, that's it, guys. I just do numbers. So he kind of looks at everyone and he realizes that he just kind of spouted nonsense, probably still confused about what the hell just happened.
He says, no, we will see Captain Milan. He will bring the doctor. I will tell him what happened.
He will,
Whatever the
he
fuck
will
that
believe
is.
you, I'm sure, Sergeant.
I don't know if I believe me, Michelle.
See, that is my point.
And I said to the Sergeant, I will stand by your side. We must all stick close together. We cannot allow what happened at the Comte's residence to happen again.
I do not think you tell him that you died.
I agree.
You might want to
I
leave
think-
that little bit out.
Right.
I want to leave a lot. Look,
I think just enough to investigate the Combs house is all the captain needs to know. There's our evidence.
Fine. And we will keep this secret until we figure out what it means.
what did you find? We found you dead. So tell us what you found.
We found these blasphemous statues, and we grabbed the wig of the man Twinette.
Okay. We're gonna fill them in about all the things.
We
and-
saw you through the window.
We
Oh,
watched.
We
Michelle,
also saw it.
you need practice.
I stood face to face with the Comte.
It's embarrassing.
Yes, I
It's
have to kiss his
embarrassing.
pope. I think I'm going to go home and burn my lips off.
Is that an innuendo?
Unfortunately,
You guys missed the part of the
not.
kissing the skinless pope, so you're not really sure.
Oh.
Wait, you didn't
And then
want
hearing,
I
So it works then. It was an
Yeah.
innuendo.
hearing about your atrocities that you committed, it dawns on Sergeant Renault that he
Any
just
atrocities.
sacrificed, well, kissing a skinless man, and then kissing Michelle,
That
which
was-
is probably just as bad.
That sounds like
It dawns on Renault that he sacrificed a civilian.
For his own survival.
Yeah, well, I mean, mostly for your own survival, because everyone was fucking getting stabbed by this random guy. But it dawns on him that he just like sacrificed a guy, and he kind of rounds on Babin, and he says, "And you, if you run like that again, you ran like you had a wooden foot. I will make sure you have one if you do that again. If you die again on me, so help me. You'll wish you were a
You're
man."
gonna wish you were a
You
man.
wish you were a man.
I'm sorry, Kevin.
Oh man.
Wait.
Is that your insult now?
That's it. You would wish you were a man. You rue the day.
You really
All
say
this
you
talk-
were a man.
Sergeant is just fired up.
It's so angry, but just so
He's
non-specific.
angry and confused.
You will wish you were a man.
Yeah.
Storms off.
Yeah.
With all due respect, Sergeant. I was stabbed.
So was I.
He was stabbed really hard.
As was I.
Do also request to see the doctor.
Yes, we will see Captain Malone. He will bring the doctor with us.
Our injuries alone are proof that we need to speak with him.
Do I have a scar on my stomach?
You have you have a scar on your bicep, Christoph. There is a scar down your chest, Sergeant Renault. There is an entry and an exit wound scar on your back and your stomach, Babin. That's it.
Cool.
Women love scars.
Yeah.
Chicks dig them, I heard.
You know, Christoph, we will talk about that.
But if only you were a guy.
This one was when I got that mole removed. Huh? How you like that?
This one I had the cavity over here.
Yeah. That right there is a zit I popped too prematurely. You see that? Does that one get you?
How about that?
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah, so I think mostly the sergeant collects himself because he's confused and angry, and doesn't know how to levy threats against women.
Right. Yeah. Apparently.
People in general.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, he has a wife and a daughter, so he's like, I don't. You lady.
You will fear me. If only you were a man.
If only you were a man.
Yeah. He doesn't know how to threaten you.
He's just mad he doesn't have a son.
Yeah. He doesn't know how to threaten you. You're just a lady. He's like, I don't know what to do here.
You were a man, now you're a lady.
I'm going for a drive.
Gonna get a smoke.
Yeah, so I think we head towards whatever the hell that building was we met the captain in last time. I assume that's where we'd find him again.
Right, it was the South Writing Room. And you guys can get back there quickly enough. You can, tie up omelette du fromage. And as you guys are tying up omelette du fromage, you realize that you just kind of lash him beside a very... At first you thought it was a horse, but it just turns out to be some donkey. But you lash it up beside there, and the donkey kind of looks up at you all, and for a moment you're pretty sure it rolls its eyes as it goes back to eating whatever food bag it has been given. You guys go in and you are able to find Captain Milan as he is waiting inside the writing room, and he stands as you walk in and looks directly at Sergeant Renault and says, "Report."
He blinks a few times and then realizes what is happening, and he says, there was a strange party, a debaucherous affair. The wig, and he motions towards Christoph, I believe. And he kind of haphazardly almost tosses the bloody wig towards the captain. He says, there are blasphemous statues that go against the one true God in his labyrinthian hedges. And the Comte himself is... I don't know what he is. He seems to be more than a man.
So over the next several minutes, you guys kind of relate everything that you've experienced. Is there anything that you hold back?
Everything from when we died to now.
Also that I'm female.
Okay. So
Martine's got a family to feed.
Martine remains Joseph, and anything that happened after the death of Babin is omitted from the narrative. Okay. So as you guys are able to tell him all of this, he sits and he's kind of looking at the wig, and it is almost an exact copy of something that Marie Antoinette would wear. In fact, it may even be one of hers. And as he's hearing, the skinless Pope, he's hearing of the blasphemous statues, he's hearing of the debauchery and everything, he's just nodding the entire time. And he says, we can raid. We can arrest this Count Fenalik. You all were there. You saw the lands, the grounds. I need you to formulate this raid. I need you to gather any resources you need. I will give them to you. I can get 50 men, a cannon, anything that you need. Whatever you think it will take to take out this Comte Fenalik. But I want the rest of them that was there. I want these aristocrats that are conspiring with him, that are in league with his debauchery and his blasphemous ways. I want them all. He has another party. One coming soon. A week from today. That is when we will strike. He will be there, as will the rest.
With all due respect, Captain, it is not enough. Your men will fall. Your cannons will do no harm. There is this, and he pulls out the mystic blade and places it on, I assume he's sitting at like a table. He places it on the table, and Greg, I'm going to use my crit, and I'm going to trace those circles on this blade.
Okay, so Captain Milan sees it's a hefty blade. You know, it's not a knife, this is a knife. And you put it down and he looks at it strangely, but as you kind of command his gaze with the fingers as you draw the concentric circles and they emboss with the blue light, this time stronger than the last time, as if it is becoming more and more accustomed to your touch. And he looks and his eyes widen and he steps back and he kind of reaches up and he grabs the crucifix that hangs around his neck, and he kind of whispers briefly to himself some prayer of protection, and he looks up at you with eyes that for a moment are distrusting, but then he remembers that the Sergeant Renault that is before him is the man that has never shied away from any order, the man that would sacrifice his life for France, the man that in fact did sacrifice his life for France. And he stares and he says, Terry, what is this?
This is something I've never seen before, sir. Every one of his men carries this. There were half a dozen that chased us out of the mansion. They had bestial features. They had claws and fangs, as did the Comte. When I stood face to face with him, his teeth sharpened before my eyes. I do not know what he is, but I don't think that he is a man.
Well, what will you need?
We need the doctor.
Dr. Rigaud, he's in Paris. Dr. Rigaud, you have missed much.
Whatever happens in the party will not be a success without the doctor.
The doctor is under suspicion. Comte Fenelick is spreading rumors that he was the one that got the Dauphin sick, that he is the one with consumption. It has been proven that the Dauphin's wet nurse she has died of consumption. But Fenelick is relentless. He has the ear of the Queen, and as soon as she is done mourning, I fear that the doctor will be incarcerated or worse. It will be difficult to get to him.
I think that he knows more than he is letting on about. He may know a way to kill or ascertain the Comte.
I have thought the same thing. I have had men follow him before. He has gone to two of the libraries in Paris, the Bibliothèque Mazarine and the Bibliothèque Fournet, countless times. I believe now that he is studying whatever this was, this occult. You need to speak with him, or perhaps follow in his footsteps. How many men do you think we will need?
He looks back to everybody and waits a moment longer on Babin, and then he turns back to the captain and says,
All of them.
I may be able to get 200, but...
As many as you can. The people in the party, the aristocrats, they loved it. The depraved acts they committed in his name, the debauched nature of the party. They loved it.
Michelle looks nervous.
They they hungered for it. If that is how his effect is on normal people, these savages, these cultists, and whatever chased us out of the manse, I can only imagine how strong his hold was over them and what they can do. I told you, the man that attacked Michelle and Joseph, the man had his skin flayed. The man that wore this wig, and he points to the Antoinette wig, they were flaying his skin, and he laid there, almost willingly, letting them do it. What kind of person just stays there as their skin is removed? What kind of person has their skin removed willingly and still fights for the man who issued the order?
I do not know. Perhaps it is worth the risk to get to Dr. Regault. I will do what I can. I will marshal as many troops as I can, but...
And he issues you the following orders. For mechanical purposes, we were going to need to know when the raid's going to take place during the party, beginning, middle, end. He also wants to know where you want to marshal these troops and how you are going to divide yourselves among, let's say, the 200 troops that are there. Are you going to stay in a group yourselves, or are you going to each command 50? These are just the mechanical questions of the raid itself. The orders that he gives you are as follows. Nobody is allowed to leave the estate. Anybody that comes there as a guest or comes there at the invitation of the Comte cannot leave. Comte Fenelick must be captured alive so he can stand trial. Everything is evidence. Anything that you find must be kept for the trial of Comte Fenelick. Any journals, books, letters, or other written evidence is to be kept for Regault, who apparently knows a little bit more about this arena and may be able to stand as expert witness against Fenelick. He also tells you that the Comte, as was mentioned, has been trying to remove Regault from the court. He has gotten most of the court to believe that it was Regault, as the physician of the Dauphin, that made the boy sick. It is mere days before Regault himself is going to be arrested, perhaps killed on sight. You guys are on a clock.
At all of this, Renault again looks to his men and lady and turns back to the captain and says, taking the Comte alive presents another challenge. There is, in fact, one more thing. And he kind of looks to Christoph and Babin, and then back. He says, when the Comte was alerted that we were there in his manse, smoke came into the room we were in with the man, and he points towards the wig again. And the smoke coalesced and it formed an outline of a man, and then in the smoke was the Comte. He appeared as smoke. He formed a man. He chased us. I don't think manacles will hold him.
The doctor. He's our only hope. I don't know why I'm talking like this.
Don't worry, I do that sometimes too.
There's too many people in my head that I just make up their voices all the time.
They're bleeding out now, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why, yeah. Check
He kind of looks back and he says, can we get the blueprints of the estate?
You all will have known it. It has been recently built. It is not something that has blueprints or writ or a property line or a lease of any kind. It is freshly constructed within the last 5 years.
Paper, parchment then, because you, as much as you can, we can draw out the plans.
Yes.
And he kind of looks over to Michelle and says, Michelle, I know you were inside in several of the rooms.
Oui.
Babin, myself, Dubois, and Christophe were outside. We could give you a description of what it looked like. Do you think you could redraw the plans of this house?
I think I could, oui.
Then we will do that. We can plan our assault.
Yeah, between me and Joseph, I can remember what was on inside, probably. And the others, if they tell me what was on the outside, because I did see it from the outside, it just didn't...
Yeah, you didn't see the backyard.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, yeah,
I'll
given
try
the
and
fact
sketch.
that you guys are all soldiers and you reconnoitered, like you reconned the entire area,
Mhm.
like whatever you can see there on the Roll20, you guys are able to scale get what you need there from the same type of map.
Okay. Yeah, so I draw a basic... I draw this map on Roll20. This is what I draw.
Yeah. And then he kind of like, as you're drawing it, he kind of
Pretty good.
Renault kind of looks to the table and motions for everyone to sit.
He says, this is not one of the times where I will be issuing out orders. You were there. You know what you saw. You know what we experienced. Sit. We must draw up plans together. How do you think we can take this cult down?
We need to...
And he kind of motions everyone to sit down.
Surely we could try and surround the mansion so there is no escape for him.
Yes.
Well, there is only one entrance, and that is the front gate.
He could escape into the woods, and it would be difficult to find him, one man out there.
Yes, it
He'd have
wasn't.
to climb his own wall to get out.
It wasn't difficult to climb the wall. We did it with no assistance. We could.
I wouldn't put it past
Could-
him to have a secret entrance or something, or he is. We've seen him move. You say like mist. So
He
I
does
wouldn't.
not seem to be the type of man to run away, though.
That is what worries me. That it almost seems like he would want us to come there.
What if we position men on the three sides without the gate and have them scale the walls with a ladder or a rope or something and position themselves in the woods around the estate?
Wait, that could work, I think, Sergeant.
Have a large force outside the front gate and look like we are storming the front. And in reality, we are storming the other three sides.
That could work.
He looks to Joseph and says,
Can you get anyone else inside?
"You're
You're
muted."
muted.
You are muted.
Joseph just went mute at the thought of going back to another party. I guess. Sure. Christoph, you like a party. Do you want to come with me?
No, Joseph, I'm not
Compass.
saying you have to go in yourself.
Oh, this is nice. This is good. I just want everyone to go.
Massive bead of sweat
Uh.
wiped from Michelle's foot.
Makeup smears.
Oh, can you dial them up and get them into the party?
Well,
Yes.
The comp seemed to take a liking to you as well, though.
That is true.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's the worrisome part, that he liked me. I don't want to go back there. Yeah, we could get.
It's called courting. It's fine.
Called recording. We're
Which
planning
one?
your marriage now.
No, we're not.
That's what this is. This is actually 200 people as part of the wedding party.
The captain just didn't want to tell you.
Oh, this is. Unfortunately, I am the married. I am lay married, and I'm
that
lay
is-
tired.
It's a good musical. I've heard that one.
Which okay, so what like who is the like littlest of all of them? Like who's like the most petite of the men that we could
Well, we have like 200 men. My thought was get as many of the Kristoff looking ones into the party as dates so that we have people inside.
So yeah, she is going back if they're going as dates.
Well, I mean, you could find them other dates, I guess. You could.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be you and one of us. It can be people
you can
of the
hoard them out.
military.
Yeah, I can. Yeah. Martine can pick out handsome men and send them to their death. That sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like she's probably good at that. It's like one of her main skills.
One of her main skills is finding cute boys and sending them off to die.
Yeah.
I would remind you guys that you did have an invitation the last time you went to.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I do have the invitation from Melody.
We need a new invitation for this party.
Well, now we have 2.
Presumably, we need another invitation.
Well, we can go get another one.
Perhaps I could speak with her, and I could try and procure another one.
Perhaps you could kiss her this time, but practice with the horse first.
I don't want to kiss anyone.
We practice with the ass.
I don't think I'm really in the
Fuck up.
mood. I have just watched 2 of my fellow men die, and then time traveled.
But they did not die because you kissed
Etienne tries to find humor.
I didn't die when you kissed me, so I thought, oh, this is probably the end of wanting to kiss people. This
Todd,
is
I
horrible.
died.
it was horrible for me too.
Yeah, but if you practice with the horse, I'm sure.
I do not practice with omelette du fromage.
Oh, mon petit.
That didn't sound at all convincing.
Yeah, not at all. Another bead of
I
sweat.
I do not kiss the horse.
Ah, that is such a funny thing for you to say. That I would.
It has such large teeth. I could not.
Montage.
Too big.
Far too big, and the lips are very very wet. So why would I even? Oh, I mean. Ah.
Why would I even try that?
Why would I even try that? It would be very uncomfortable, and even if I had tried it, I'm sure I wouldn't ever do that again. Okay, I would go and speak with. You know what they say, if you're going to make an omelet, you have to break a few eggs.
Kristoff is gonna like set a hand on Michelle and kind of like squeeze a little bit in hopes that it makes him stop talking.
Oh, so I will go speak with Melody. She's probably not far from here. She is in Versailles. Last time I saw her. So
Christoph, could you give him some pointers, please?
We had a tavern.
a bro
Talk
talk.
about the birds and the bees.
Come
We'll
on,
have a
bro.
talk.
Let's head down the
A
tavern.
good bro to bro talk.
Talk about girls, bro.
By the time she's
Got
done with
laid
her,
so much.
I already do wish I was a man.
Martine's gonna give Kristoff a list of things that he should probably point out that Michelle's doing wrong. She's gonna like pull out of her pocket. She's like, I have this list.
He's gonna pretend that he knows these things.
And say, these are work on these. Oh, yes, lots of.
Let me teach you the French kiss.
I know plenty of women who could teach you. He's like calling cards for hookers.
I would ship
Do a Rolodex.
It's a little black book.
A little black book. Gets his quill out. And Martine
Scroll.
just like reaches in her pocket and like chips into the fund.
I am not too proud to say that I do need help. The first stage of recovery is acceptance.
Recovery may be possible one day. Sergeant, I think we need more than men.
Oh God, no.
No. If we are fighting the monster, we might need something supernatural. I think we should go back to the catacombs. I think we should get their help.
But you said that there was just voices.
Yes, well, we lie to you a lot, Michelle.
Are you lying about the kissing?
Poor lad.
What, are you lying about the kissing?
No, we are trying to help you with that, but in this case,
That's the one thing we haven't lied to you about. That's out of all the things, that thing was true.
You're great at everything else, but that one.
Yeah.
The catacombs is a no.
Okay.
I saw it through the window. It was terrible.
Away, the sergeant's like,
He looks
"Oh,
so
God."
crestfallen.
I had 2 children. That was awful. I don't know what you want.
What does that mean?
Your mouth was so wide.
I have 2 children. Your kissing was awful. What does that mean?
What are you saying? He's
You
not
get a nat one for that
Your,
one.
your kissing was awful. I have 2 children.
I have 2 too. Your kissing was awful.
Yeah,
I have 2 kids. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, the sergeant has.
That's creepy.
Only
He has physical proof that he's good at kissing.
That's so much
Thank you.
creepier than
That's
you
how you
think
have
it
kids,
is.
right? You make out with your wife, and then you
That's,
have
that's
kids.
how it
And
starts,
then
yeah.
you get a little bubble that says, "Do you want to have a baby? Yes or
Yeah.
no?" And
They
then
just and they say,
It's so
And
much,
then you woohoo in the closet.
it's so much creepier than you think it is. I have 2 kids. I'm good at kissing.
right, Greg,
Christoph
you
feels
know.
the need that everybody needs to have a sit down.
Martina's like looking at
Trust me, I
like,
can kiss. I've got 2 kids.
Christoph and Martina are now your sex ed teachers.
We're basically your parents at this point.
Her mom and dad, yeah.
Mom and dad.
It
Mom
is time
and
for
dad.
let talk.
And then there's Babin that's just swapping out his wooden hands.
Now he's got his kissing hand on.
Yeah, he's got
That's it.
This is how I practice.
It's got a tongue in the middle.
It's this hand. It's this thing.
Wee wee.
Hold on.
Okay, right.
I love this game.
Oh no.
Also
Oh.
got some other more intriguing hands, but those only come out at the party.
Bonjour.
Those are at the sex
Those are the
party.
key party. Those are the sex parties Greg ruined.
So from now on, you have to sign a waiver to watch these streams.
Maybe from now on.
if you're 18 or under, you have to have
Wanna-
a parent sign.
I want to say another thank you to our
No, I don't
sponsors,
want your
Dean
parents
Dice.
to know it's here.
You guys didn't get a waiver to play on this stream? Is that just me? Is am I the only one that gets waivers?
You get the waivers because you get so many natural ones assigned to you.
I tell Mike that everyone signs the waivers.
To be fair, if you look at Will's business plan, I'm on it.
Yeah.
It just says people paid Mike for that once. People coming.
Just a screenshot of
People
this.
coming.
People pay to watch you. In fact, the thing about the sergeant is he would have had sex more than twice, but he just got assigned so many nat ones, and he just crit failed his wife all the time.
Oh, poor your wife.
Yeah, don't
bad,
worry.
man.
The milkman's pretty hot over there.
Oh. The milkman.
So anyway, Martine thinks that we should go get help from the supernatural horrors that live in the catacombs.
This plan could work.
I
We
do
need to
not
know.
think they like sitcoms.
We need to know what the doctor was looking for. It's going to be nearly impossible to speak with him. The captain will do everything he can, but he went to the library, the bibliothèque.
Are you afraid of the books? We can also go in the
No,
library.
no. Have you been there? It is vast. There are so many books. It would take us days and weeks to find the one he was looking for.
Unless you have a
I don't know.
librarian who's bad at her job.
Unless you do, but you.
There it is.
Christoph, are you suggesting that you have slept with the librarian?
I
He
have.
still gets slept with most of the women.
I think
He
that's
got
it.
the clap so many times, he's in applause.
Well done.
And for some reason,
You have to
like,
have a nat one for that, though.
And that's it. That's the where we wrap up the session.
Yeah.
Guys, that was the one.
Screw the last 40, 15 minutes of his.
Greg, where's the
It's over.
pocket guy to stop to actually kill us this time?
Yeah,
I take it back.
we have to die now.
She's like, no.
This is wrong. This is all wrong.
Do it again. Boop. Send him back.
Jules, no.
Oh, get around Steven
Okay, so
Spielberg.
what's the plan, kids? You
So
guys
that's
want
the plan. We're going to Paris. That's where the doctor is, right? He is in Paris.
the doctor is basically under a form of city house arrest in Paris.
Okay.
As he is under investigation, he cannot go anywhere. You also have obtained the information that he frequented 2 of the libraries in Paris, the Bibliothèque Mazine and the Bibliothèque Fournay. And then also, Joseph mentioned that it might be wise to have some supernatural assistance of your own. And that was met in the catacombs.
And all of those places are in Paris.
Correct.
Cool. So I think we're going to Paris, guys.
Yep. Time to go to the bibliothèque to
Paris
work on our
montage, guys.
bibliopex.
So to montage the planning scene, so we do the whole planning on the table with like chess pieces or whatever, and then he relays all this information, the idea for this team's plan on the assault to the captain, hoping that he can do some extra recon in the coming days.
Captain Milan said he's going to spend the rest of the time between now and the next party getting men together. If you want to send somebody to be inside in the form of Joseph and somebody else, he recommends obtaining another invitation.
So I'm going to speak with Melody.
So before we leave, I guess Joseph's going to steal some more clothes because no one ever goes to the party in the same dress they went to their last party in.
Steal clothes.
Gosh.
Sure.
What?
Right. Okay.
Just
So as
say
you
go.
feel up to
Yep.
You are going into the party this time?
Yeah, why not? He likes me. We can use it. Or I'll just die, and the nice man with the stopwatch will be like, God fucking damn it, not again. And it'll be great.
He will say, "Not after that joke. Click. You stay dead."
Stay dead.
I hate puns.
Yeah, I'm gonna go find Melody, see if I can get another invitation.
Yeah, you track her down. It takes you a better part of an hour because the grounds are so vast. But you're able to see her as she is walking alone through one of the many footpaths through the many parks in the palace.
Can we retcon that we all hid in the bushes to watch this happen?
The only way you can do that is if you successfully roll a stealth roll for me.
Oh,
Easy. You got it.
guys are
Yeah, like
cock-blocking
we're
me.
obviously spying on him, right?
Boom.
Like,
Told you.
He like sees my
My,
face.
my wooden arm is a tree.
I'm too prepared for him to fail that I'm
oh
just
no!
failing
I
myself.
fell out of the tree.
I'm like, so
Okay,
We're not
so
very
the-
sneaky.
Yes, Christoph and Joseph, you guys are found out pretty quick, and you need to kind of peel off as members of the aristocracy are looking and kind of whispering, "Who was it?" Blah 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 blah. But Sergeant Renault and Babin, you are able to successfully hide behind the
creepy guys.
foliage of Babin's left hand, as he's using his tree fingers to be able to give you just what you need to peek and see.
It's like they can't.
Melody.
We can't see them, so they can't see us. Hello, Melody.
Oh,
Bonjour.
hello.
Salut.
Bonjour. How was the party?
It was opened up my eyes to a great deal of new experiences. It was different. I have to say. Are you going to the next?
No, my father will not let me.
Oh yes, I remember. I have met
Do
him.
I could perhaps go.
I-
He is away. Are you inviting me?
Yes, of course. I would love for you to go.
Oh, my father would be very upset, but this is very exciting. Where should we meet?
Maybe he would be more upset by this and everything that I've learned from Christoph and Joseph. I want a nat 20 on like a persuasion to swoop in.
Okay. How are you going to do this? Are you going to go in and are you just trying to convince her? Or are you trying to are you going in for a kiss? Is this what
Yeah, this is
Well,
this
it's
is
persuasion. You can't just do the kiss.
This
They
is
may
the-
just not want it.
that's true. This is
They got this, so it's got to be persuasion, which
Yeah.
leads them to the kiss.
exactly.
Listen to Joy de Vivre.
Yeah, with a bit of the yeah.
You gotta
Okay,
pop
The
that
Joey
collar.
DeVivre.
Yeah.
So yes, you are trying to kiss then.
I'm leaning in. I'm seeing if she's picking up what I'm putting down.
Oh, she's definitely picking up what you're putting down. As soon as she saw you coming, she was picking up what you were putting down. So let's cut back to a different point of view. Let's look from the distance between the foliage fingers of
They laughing, bro.
Etienne Babin and Sergeant Renault as they are peeking between the pointer and the tall man as they are as they are looking. They see what looks like a postcard. It looks like the sailor and the
Yeah.
Times Square kiss with the
Kiss war goodbye or whatever.
the absolute.
It is too soon. He cannot kiss her like that. It is
Kiss
unbecoming
the
of a man.
estates goodbye.
Right, she completely goes into the full back bend, like it's part kiss, part trust fall, as she is laying in the crook of his elbow, as he perfectly moves in perfectly. The lips just barely touch for a second, and then the kiss gets deeper, and she closes her eyes and falls completely into the embrace of the now seasoned, the now veteran. He has been through one partial kiss and a full-on sex party. Michelle
Is a man.
scores here in the Palace of Versailles. And as he kisses, she just waits. And as Michelle pulls back, her eyes stay closed. And as if she's still in the throes of this, her first and most glorious kiss, as she finally opens her eyes and just locks them with the young soldier. And she reaches into one of the folds of her dress and produces invitation. And she says, I accept. I will go with you. Where should we meet?
Where are we staying?
I don't.
And can you feel the days to be afraid tonight?
I say, I give her the location of where, like the guardhouse, like where we're going to be meeting. I don't actually, Michelle doesn't actually want her to get to this party because her 200 soldiers going to break in and she might get hurt. So he's going to tell her to meet him at, his outpost where they're going out from so he can,
There is the village. There's the village right outside of the Fenelix estate.
Sure.
If you would, there's like a tavern there if you want to kind of, pick a meeting place. if that would
Sure,
work.
let's say that place.
Okay.
I'm worried by how quickly you suggested that, but sure. Could be the village, the village of the damned. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Right. Everybody's under the sway of confidence. I mean, no. Yes. No, the village is not a trap. It's just a village.
Yeah,
You can go to the tavern in the village.
Ah, oui, oui.
And you say that you will meet her there the night of. I'm
Yes,
assuming?
I'll meet you there on the night.
I will be there. And she is absolutely flushed. She's just beaming as she looks at you. And before you leave, she leans in for a kiss and plants one on you as, once again, between Pointer and Tall Man, Babin and Sergeant Renault are the only two to witness both the initial barrage and the return fire in this exchange of young lovers at war. And it's good, Michelle. It's a good one.
If only Christoph had seen it, he'd be proud of you.
I return.
After getting caught, Christoph and Joseph went to go shopping.
Yeah, we're gonna go get nice clothes.
Mom and Dad went shopping.
I return
Yeah,
to the
you
two
guys-
guys.
Yeah, you guys are able to get what you need, clothing wise and disguise wise. If you want to get, the guillotine body spray and all the stuff that you guys had before, you're able to kind of re-equip yourselves. And
I think Axe body spray still works.
No, it's
I
guillotine.
like guillotine.
It's guillotine. Guillotine.
It's guillotine.
Guillotine.
Oh, man.
Guillotine.
Nice.
Guillotine for men.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
That's how adverts.
You made it worse.
Guillotine.
Sergeant Renault's actually just a walking guillotine ad.
Yeah. Guillotine for men. Bruh.
For men, don't you wish you were one? I do.
Don't
How
you
much
know?
you wish you were one?
I
I
didn't
use
use
guillotine chocolat.
I didn't used to be a man, and then I took guillotine for men, and now I wish I wasn't a man.
No, I wish you were all a man. Like
No, I wish
I
you
used to
were.
wanted to be an Ant-Man, now I wish I was one.
By the time you're finished,
I have
this, you
two
wish you were a
kids, so I
man.
know how to kiss. I wish you were.
I wish you were a man.
You know how I'm good at kissing? Because I have
I
two
would-
kids.
I would teach you how to kiss if you were a man.
If you were a man.
yeah, exactly.
You too can have two kids.
Try guillotine chocolat.
Do you want to kiss men?
I wish I
Voulez-vous
could.
coucher
You want
guillotine?
to kiss men and cut their heads off afterwards? Guillotine for men.
Oh. By the way, thanks to our new sponsor, Guillotine. for Men.
Guillotine
Guillotine
body
for men.
spray.
It's got 12 blades for the most
It'll
efficient.
knock your head off.
It'll knock your heads will be rolling.
Heads will be a roll.
You know how like men's like Gillette adverts of like, and it's got 12 razors that all rotate at the same time for the most smooth blend. It's just like that, but actual guillotines just cutting from that.
It's got one razor edge that falls at about 25 miles an hour.
32 different kinds of animal musk.
Comes with basket to catch your head in.
Heads will roll
That's
for
part of
Shakala.
special gift set.
Yeah, it comes with a special for purchasing.
This Father's Day.
So you went and got the guillotine. I think we got that established.
Oh, I'm sorry, Greg. Did you want to play Call of
We want to know
Cthulhu?
Ram.
The gift to end all
No,
days.
I'm
Call of
good.
Cthulhu or
We can scout.
We just make our own
I
ads
think it's
every
established
time.
that I'm here for you guys too. So
You guys got
It
time
just
for a...
happens every game though. We make a new ad that we like talk about. We have a new sponsor every week. I mean,
Yep.
like, you should be used to
of
this
a
by now.
made up
D&D.
product, right?
Of a made up product,
Yeah.
except for the
Actually,
History
why
Channel.
don't we just need to find there's gotta be someone, some local like sex
Home
shop
Depot.
that can just sponsor us.
I might
Right.
know a guy.
Right.
They can make little attachments for
Local to where?
It's a little
I don't know.
phone. Like, you know how they have like the
Not
plug-in
in
like
Canada,
chains
no
for your
money.
phone? It's a little tiny guillotine.
It's a little tiny guillotine.
Well, you know, before we get back to plot, I think we've got time for another 5-minute skit here, so look around, lad.
So this is the conversation Martina are having as they go shopping.
Joseph picks up the guillotine from in, and she says, "Do you think if I spray my entire body with this, Sergeant Renault will forget I am a woman?" Probably, right? Yes.
It's plausible. He wishes he were a man, so he probably wishes you were one too.
Yes. Yes. That's just sad for him.
Kids, though. So he knows how to kiss.
He knows
So I
how to
have two-
kiss.
I have 2 kids.
Unlike Michelle.
I've kissed a woman at least twice. Yes.
Got him.
Got him.
Unlike me, who never kisses. I'll never.
As far as we know,
I'll never have.
Michelle doesn't know
I'll
how to
never
kiss. He
have
just
kids.
kisses horses.
What's great is like the
From the
two
mouth.
people that rib on Michelle the most have not seen physical proof that he can kiss.
That is my one
I will
rule.
never believe him.
Hashtag never on the mouth.
Renault is
chat.
gonna come and tell us like you won't believe what happened. Like, no, I don't believe you. You're right.
Chad,
mean-
you're sitting there wondering if this is what tabletop role playing is like.
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
Martina's
100%.
gonna be like, I believe that you died and came back to life. I don't believe Michelle can kiss.
Yeah.
Also, me and Mike both get nat 20s from Lauren because
Yeah.
we deserve it.
Because you deserve it.
Because we're the guys who wish we were guys.
Guillotine for
I
men.
thought
You'll
you
wish
said
you were
me.
one.
I like how it's supposed to be like a professional atmosphere. We're supposed to be like, play the game, guys. We go on rants about guillotines,
That's
body
nice.
spray.
It's
Yeah.
professional.
Yeah.
I signed a contract that said I had to be professional.
You got the bad one then.
I got
right.
the not so fun contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the joke contract.
Yeah, that was real. That-
I was trolled.
You didn't-
Millions of dollars.
That one was a
you
joke.
didn't actually sign that, did you? Holy shit.
No. I don't sign my real name to things.
Nah.
Oh man.
So screen
Her
wiped.
name's
Paris.
actually
Yeah,
Holly.
yeah.
Oh,
The
sorry.
Star Wars screen wipe happens.
We do one of the Indiana Jones with the dots, the red,
Oh, right,
the red
yeah.
dash marks to Paris.
But it's
Yes.
us trying to get to plot.
Yeah.
We're
And we
on
never
track.
Right here. We go all around.
We're on track.
Slingshot our way to the Mars.
It's like the Muppets when they drive out of the ocean. They're like, we made it.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right, so I've done melody. We need to.
Oh,
Oh,
You're
we're
skipping
better
some
than that,
steps,
guys.
man. Supposed to take her out
That was
first.
the fucking
probably pregnant.
That was
softest
Elizabeth.
ball.
France.
That
Not in
was
France.
one-
It's like, hey, you want to make out? Let's go to an orgy.
Yeah, Doctor.
You want to go to a sex party?
Hey girl, I like the way you kiss.
Hey, I went from croissant to baguette. Let's head over.
It makes no sense, but it makes perfect sense.
Oh.
So the next thing we need to do is talk to the
Rigaud.
doctor.
Dr. Rigaud, he knows about the
Let's go to the
evil
library.
villain behind this terrifying plot. Remember that whole thing?
Now that we've gone to a sex party, let's go to the library to calm down.
There's plot here.
It's
I
alright.
went from croissant to baguette.
We have that one quoted too.
Yeah, let's go in there.
Dad.
That's the quote of the stream. Jules, you came up with some
I've been
really good
saving it
ones,
up.
but
No, I can't beat that. I can't beat that.
I don't know what to do with myself right now. That was good.
we might just need to call the game. There's no coming back
Oh
from this.
God. So we're in Paris now.
Yes, you guys are able to make it into Paris. What would you guys like to do?
Entire ride convincing Michelle that because he kissed this girl, she's pregnant now, and that's how babies are made.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's.
I would know. I have kissed my wife twice, and I have 2 children.
Renault would know. And he's gonna trust anything Renault
That's
says
what my wife
too.
told me.
I don't know why Renault is totally down with this, but Martine is like, yes.
I am
She's like, that's why my husband
I am
is not
questioning.
Damn it.
I am questioning whether those children are yours, Mike.
Listen, if you're wondering why Renault is down with this, I once told a soldier to go find me headlight fluid for an hour. So Renault's down for it to fuck with Michelle.
Yep, Michelle's pretty buying it.
Now
Oh,
that he's like come back to life, like Joseph likes him a little better, so she's like, yes, I like this new sergeant.
He may not like you, but you like him.
we must find the doctor.
Yes, perhaps
Okay.
he can take care
What
of
would you guys like to do?
But
You have
the
the doctor.
doctor, yeah.
Yeah, you have the.
We've
the
all
two
kind of
libra-
agreed on it.
Okay, you're going for the doctor.
Yeah.
I need to be
Okay.
healed, please.
doctor before they get him, whoever this day is.
Okay, how would you like to go about it? You've returned to Paris in the afternoon.
I feel like we need to be in civilian clothes because if the doctor who already knows he like might get arrested thinks there are like soldiers looking for him, then he's gonna hide. Like he's gonna go deeper into a hole. But if we like if we were in civilian clothes, we could just go to the library and be like, have you seen Dr. Renault? We're friends of his, kind of thing.
Sure, yeah, and we can say that you did that while you were in the laundry. You went ahead and got like civilian attire for everybody.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah. Martine's gonna dress up as Belle for this adventure.
Tell you what,
That's
we all
it.
have
We'll
some
be your
kind of
guest
cash
on.
hand, right? Greg, we all have some kind of cash on hand, right?
Yeah, we can say you do.
You cast on
A
hand.
little bit.
Yeah.
Cash.
Uh, the people that were helping Regault put bodies in the catacombs, they're mostly like downtrodden, people that don't have any money, right? And they know where Regault is, and they usually work for him whenever he has work.
Correct, yes.
I think that would be the suggestion Renault would make to everybody. Why don't we seek out one of the people we defended in the catacombs? They'll do. And he kind of like feels preemptive regret for saying it. They'll do most anything for Coin. They can deliver him a note or a word of mouth that we're looking for him. And set up a meeting that way.
Do I remember the guy whose life I saved? What he looks like?
Greg, stop smirking. You shit.
I was
Get your shit.
and I was gonna say that the knowledge that they'll do anything for coin seemed a little bit too ready, but I just,
He has.
He would know. He has two
I
kids.
have 2 kids. I would know what they're willing to do.
They're all guys too.
It's the
Yeah,
weirdest thing.
he wishes Martine was a man.
It's the weirdest thing.
Next time
yes.
we find out he comes out as gay.
Yeah, you could recognize the guy that you saved. You also know where they muster. It's right outside Lalo's, and you should be able to go there and.
You are dressed as a woman right now.
Oh yeah, but only for the library part.
Do you want to confront the man you saved as a woman?
Oh no, totally gonna be in nude clothes.
I like the idea of you
Okay.
getting in and out of the carriage, swapping clothes every time we go somewhere new.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, so yeah, it's easy enough to find this group of gentlemen that are hiring themselves out for any type of labor, or as Sergeant Renault will let you know other things, but you're able to find the group that was helping several nights ago take the bodies from the wagons into the catacombs.
Are you looking for the one that you saved?
Yeah, I want to look for the one that I saved. Do I need to do like a spot thingy?
No, you can find him.
Yeah.
What do you want to ask him?
Does he recognize me like when I walk up to him?
Oh yeah.
Let's say I need a favor.
Oui.
Do you know where Dr. Rigold is?
Not now, but we are meeting him at midnight at the catacombs. We are still delivering the bodies for him.
And you have not heard anything to the contrary of his whereabouts?
No.
Do you have a way to get a message to him before midnight?
No, I do not. He contacts us, so we are just to meet him at the catacombs.
Who does he contact you? Oh, sorry. Who does he contact?
We are understanding orders to be at the catacombs. He has not told us not to be. He was there last night.
Okay then. Thank you. If we'll let you know if we need anything. And she's gonna turn around and she's gonna say, just tell them we should meet at the catacombs. Like that's the plan.
Yeah, you guys will remember that whenever you're doing guard duty, it usually starts up around midnight after all the foot traffic is off the streets. That's when they start transporting the bodies from the interior city cemeteries to the wall and the catacombs beneath them. So you have a couple hours here. Are you guys going to wait at the catacombs or the entrance thereof, or do you have something else you'd like to do?
Do we have time to go to the library beforehand?
Sure do. Which one would you like to go to? And I will allow you to roll either intelligence or history, whichever's higher for you, to see if you get an idea of which one specializes in what.
What is high? Not history.
I know everything about everything.
I know nothing.
I'm gonna.
I have a 50% chance of knowing
You're
some
rolling
things that I
intelligence.
don't.
I just invented the Dewey Decimal System, Greg.
I'm so proud of you.
The Terry Decimal System.
Okay, yeah, so basically what Sergeant Renault and Joseph know is that the Bibliothèque Mazarine is more of a history of France, 12th to 17th century. And it also deals specifically with warfare, the Crusades, anything that may or may not have directly affected the military of France. The Bibliothèque Fournée deals with a very specific subset. It has a lot of religious artifacts, religious manuscripts and documents, but it also has more mystical, occult type of texts as well.
I think we go to Fournay.
Anything that's like mythical probably is a good idea, right? Because we are dealing with natural things.
Right. Let's see. Let me have from Michelle and Joseph an idea roll, please.
But why did he go to the history?
Wait, what is where's idea roll?
Intelligence.
It's intelligence.
Oh, just intelligence? Okay. I was like, I don't have that button. Nope, no ideas here.
Was that from me as well, Greg?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Success.
Michelle, as this is being relayed to you about what the different specialities of these two, as it's going through and you hear the word Crusades, you're reminded of the painting on the ceiling of the ballroom in Fenelix's estate, and it depicted the siege during the Fourth Crusade of Constantinople. and you got a ping whenever you heard that.
Remember on the comp's ceiling there was a picture of the burning of Constantinople from 14th century. We should look into that. He has some kind of fascination with it. Seems like it was important to me.
So we go to the war library.
Oh, yeah, I think so. Well, we could split up, I suppose.
That might be for the best. We do not have much time.
Okay, then I will go to the war library. The Library of War.
The library of war.
Tonight we go to the Library of War, my brothers.
I am interested in the library with the mythical things.
Yeah, I think Sergeant Renault should go with the dagger and see if he can find anything. I'll go to the war library since I saw the painting.
Hold fast, brothers, for at dawn we ride to the Library of War.
Oh God.
At dawn, we read.
At dawn we read. Tonight we read in hell.
Who's going to the war library, the history library?
Joseph and Michelle so far.
At dawn for half
The
past
dynamic
6.
duo of Joseph and Michelle.
The dream team.
It's gonna be like taking my kids to the library.
Hi, Mom.
He's doing the summer reading
You know, like
challenge.
give Christoph a peck on the cheek and say like, God help me. And just like,
He's doing the summer reading
You
challenge.
grasp your hands for a moment. You can do this.
I like that Christoph and Joseph were best friends before and nothing has changed. Everyone else is freaked out and Joseph's like, that's my buddy.
We friends.
Friends.
Totally have sex with you, but whatever.
No.
But if you were a man.
If you-
Only if I was a man and I'm married.
You wish you were a man.
So
I wish you were a woman. Oh wait, you are.
you know.
Oh.
Renault, like as you guys talk about the Crusades and like the other library, he was trying to figure out why it was the two libraries, and you see like a face of like grim understanding kind of run over his face, and he scrawls something down on a piece of paper and slips it to Joseph. And before you leave, he leans in and says, I hesitate to think this is real, but my children, they came home with the story of the boy down the street. He had heard it from another child. I assured them that it was not real, but I second guess myself now. And if you open the paper, it says vampire.
Exclamation mark. Vampire, the musical. Vampire for men.
Man. Also, Spot comes in sparkly. She's gonna look at him and look down in the paper and say, well, you were dead and now you're alive, so I'll believe anything at this point.
If you are looking for something in that library, I think you are looking for the Count.
Yes. I think he is a lot older than all of us. And she's just gonna take the paper and follow Michelle, and I guess is Etienne going with them or with us?
He's going with them.
Okay.
Before you guys fully depart, it dawns on him that there are two knives in play. And he says, wait. And he like looks around for anyone else, and he takes out the other one and tosses you the second mystical knife. His.
Good. Your worst soldier's gonna make an attempt at catching that shit.
You want to give them yours that is attuned to you?
Oh yeah, I guess you have one too, Christoph.
I do have one. Do you want me to
Yeah.
give them
Yeah,
mine?
that works.
Okay. I will
That's my
hand them
chance.
mine. I do want it back.
I'm gonna hand it to us, yeah.
I'm going to hand it to Martine because he trusts her.
She's gonna like sheath it in her belt and be on her way.
Don't worry, I'm using the one that stabbed Martine, so everything's fine. Yeah, I think we head off in different directions towards the libraries.
Okay, so who is going to the war
bibliobraries.
library?
Bibliothèque.
Yeah, me
Michelle and
Michelle
sorry, me
and,
and Joseph.
Martine.
and Martine, yeah.
Okay, so you guys go in, and are you looking for the doctor, or are you looking for specific information? Both?
I just look for
Whatever you're looking for.
I think we're looking to see.
Found it.
it's found us.
The doctor hands you all the books you ever wanted.
My
Yeah.
God.
Is there
So
anybody
much
like
war.
manning the front? Is there like a log? Like, do you have to? You mostly have to sign out books. Is there a way we can find a log that says who's signed in and out books?
Yeah, there appears to be an older man that is manning the clerk area. There's stacks.
Just don't go in his back room.
Chronicler of the war. We look at this place and we're like, what's it good for?
Yeah.
That one.
I say this place.
Yeah, okay.
This place, it never changes.
This place.
Libraries.
Never changes.
Libraries
Wow.
never change.
I quit.
Well done.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah. So as you come up, I'm gonna need you to roll. He looks.
Yes, may I help you?
I don't know. Can why are we here, Martin? Oh, are you a man of war?
I am.
You're such a
You-
child.
He's a man of war.
I
I think
love
for
me.
this, Martina's done her quick change and she is Martine right now.
Okay.
So
Yeah, keep me abreast of your.
she's gonna say
She's mom right now.
she's mom right now. Oh, you'll have to excuse my. He's not quite young enough to be her kid, but she's like, you'll have to excuse my little brother.
Oh.
We dropped him quite a bit as a child.
I nod
Sure.
vigorously. So yeah, I just want to say, sir, war manga, my favorite kind of manga.
Mine too.
Dude.
I set my clock by wartime.
Yes, and what's a great time that is?
It is not.
It's the best time.
Let's see. What is the crusade? The Fourth Crusade? The Siege of Constantinople? That's what we're doing?
Yeah, 14th century.
He has a project for school, and he
Don't
needs
care.
books on the Fourth Crusade, specifically the Siege of Constantinople.
Okay. Several minutes later, he leads you through the.
Wait, while he's
long-
going to is he like going to find them, or do I have some time to check about?
No,
like,
no, he's taking you there. He's not
Okay.
going to like go there and bring all the books back for you guys. He's going to
I'll
show you the
go.
sec-
I've got strong arms. You wait here, sister.
He's ridiculously strong.
Wait, yeah, he is bulky.
I've got 90 strength. I mean, like, I'm fucking
She
dense.
looks at the librarian. She goes,
jacked up.
Lots of
Denser
muscles.
than
but
Judy.
The brains just leak right out the ear.
The pretty ones are often stupid.
Hey, take offense to that. We can't have it all.
I follow him to where the books are.
Okay. So you're going to try to check the log to see if there's
Yeah,
anything
there's
checked
anything
out. Are you looking specifically for Dr. Regalt's name?
I think I'm looking for his name, but I'm also looking for any titles that jump out at me.
The titles are not on there. Even at this point, everything is pretty much done by some code, whether it be a number or the name of the author, or so there aren't any,
Okay.
the Fourth Crusade, Siege of Constantinople, Electric Boogaloo. I mean, none of that stuff pops
Yeah, I'm looking for an ISBN number, actually. That's it.
Exactly.
up. You found it. It takes you moments.
Yeah.
It's an
I
old
know.
IBM that you're able to.
Yeah. It's got that nice green screen with the little like white and black. I'll look for Dr. Regalt and see if he's been in. Do I know his first
Okay.
name?
You do
Doctor.
not, but you may. D. Regalt. Would you do a library use for me here, since you
Of
are?
course. There's actually a button you can press. I don't think I
Yeah.
have library. No, I have that's language. I was like, wait, hold on.
Oh my god, if I've got libraries.
Yeah, that's a fail. That's a fail.
Only 90 in
Yeah, so you're going through there, but you don't see anything. Kind of leads you to believe that maybe you're missing something. You're not real sure. At this point,
What about
it,
the last person to be there? Do I need library use just to look at the last name, the most recent checkout?
no, sure, yeah. You go down to the last name, and it takes you a minute because it's very flowery as it's been written. But it is Comte Fenelick.
And what was their date next to that?
Today.
She's gonna run after Michelle.
Yeah, roll a navigate roll for me to see if you know where the hell they went.
Oh, that's a good. What's navigate? Oh, there it
It's
is.
right.
My God, there's a giant. Oh, I'm not very good at navigating. Oh, that was not.
You sure it's not a natural world?
That was a way back. Yeah. I'm good at that. Don't forget. Navigate. I'm great at that.
I'm just
Okay,
gonna
so
follow, just to be sure, Greg, I'm just gonna follow the creepy man inside his library.
Just
Right,
go to his
yeah.
back room.
Yep.
That's the only
Right.
library
So
code.
Follow me.
Right. As you are, you haul ass back into the stacks, and you're like, no, they went right, and you take a right. This has to be. I know I'm to take a left. And as you go all the way through, you realize you're at the back end of the library. You look around, you don't see anyone that you recognize. You don't see anyone. But let's cut back over to Michelle and the librarian as you are now arriving at the section that he indicates as being the Fourth Crusade. And he kind of extends his hand and says, yeah, it's all along the shelf here. And he looks, and there's a big, like a missing space out of one of the areas. And he looks for a minute and kind of looks behind the stacks, gets up on his tiptoes, looks back there, and we are missing something. Wait right here. And he walks off.
Oh, what are we missing?
And he rounds the corner and kind of goes on the opposite side of the stacks, as you can kind of hear him back there kind of looking around and whatnot. And as you're standing there right where he was, and because we have indicated that Michelle is a big, strapping, jacked up type of guy, you look in, as you look in the space where there was a missing volume perhaps of the Fourth Crusade, you look through, and on the opposite side of the stacks, you see the face of Comte Fenelick as he smiles. And that's where we'll end it this evening, everybody.
So bad. So bad.
So bad. I'm sorry I got you killed. Pre-apology.
This is what happens when you split the splitted party.
Yep.
Oh, this is so bad. This has all been just so bad. But hey, you guys are alive again. So now
Yeah,
There's
we're
that.
here.
now it's just
We're
my time.
We only can get so many redos or
I know.
revives.
only so many revives, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start figuring out what my next character's gonna be.
Yeah, we're in Iron Man mode now. There's no going back. Whew.
Guys, this is the second campaign Greg ran that I died in. It's fucked up.
Good. Well done, Greg.
2.5 years.
Get good.
2.5 years. Bring Greg on, and I died 2 campaigns in a row.
He's
bullshit.
He's following his orders.
This is bullshit.
Like yep, he's just following orders. Well, my friends, that's what we're going to wrap up tonight's episode of Reign of Terror. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as much as we have. It's been a fantastically fun show again today with chaos, fucking wartime gunfights. Mike dying was a highlight for me.
Top 10 moments of the day.
Yeah, really, really, really good. So if you enjoyed the show, of course, hit the follow button and join us. We're going to be back online tomorrow. I'll be on at 12 p.m. Eastern over on Arvin Aileron's channel playing Adventures in Middle-earth, followed by Long March at 5 p.m. Eastern over here on Encounter Roleplay. So I'll drop a schedule for you guys in case you're new or you need a little refresher. There you go. Pop it in your Google Calendars. Let's go. Let's fucking go, boys. Let's go around the cast and crew. Do we enjoy ourselves? Greg, congratulations on a double kill today. How's it feel?
It feels well. I have a terrible headache from my wig, but other than that, I'm doing all right.
Wig ache.
No, I had a great time. Yeah. Listening to you guys go off is hilarious. I've been enjoying it really ever since we started back in Adventures in Middle Earth, but ever since the arrival of Myth, it has been a fantastic way to spend a Monday evening. Anyway, Grimjack21502 on the Twitches and the Twitters. As I put up on Twitter, this is my week of Cthulhu. Had Pulp Cthulhu last night on my channel from Sundays from 7 to 9. Obviously, we are here for Reign of Terror today from 4:30 to 7:30. Tomorrow is the launch of Tomes and Tentacles. It's the podcast. Follow Tentacles Pod. You're going to want to listen to it. Don't listen to me. The rest of it's great. It's awesome. Wednesday, we'll be here for Nameless Horrors from 1 to 4. It's where it's at. And then I will be on Unmade Ming's channel on Wednesday evenings, doing a little bit of the City of Mist, and back on Unmade Ming's on Friday, doing a little bit of the Down Darker Trails Cthulhu action, I think from 8 to 11, like something like that.
That's
Anywho, guys, I'm going to go take a ton of drugs and enjoy the rest of the evening. Until next week, have a good one.
Beautiful. Mike.
Chad, it's your choice what those drugs are. You figured out.
Put them in check.
I had a blast, as I
drinking
said.
wine, too, now.
Yeah, put whatever you want there. I had a blast, as I said. This is the second campaign that Greg has killed me in. So let's see how this goes. I can only fear death. The fear of death. Yes.
Do you fear death?
Yes, I do. Very much so. But I had a blast. This is fun. This is the first Cthulhu campaign that I've played in, apart from Greg's Down Dark Trails, which I think is on episode 3 on my channel, which you guys can tune into on Friday. And if you guys want to see the same thing Will does, but more American and less awful, or more awful, depends on your choice, come hang out with Unmade Gaming over on my channel after Will streams.
Dope. And Haley.
Hi guys, I am the Great Haley. I had, I don't know why I do that. I don't know. But I had a great time. Chaos, dumb puns, jokes. I love this group. This is so much fun. And I'm happy I got to be a part of Call of Cthulhu again. But you can find me on The Great Haley on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. I stream Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. And I play on Exploding Dice on Thursdays as a drunk pirate, so if you want to see more lewd shenanigans, that's definitely the place to go for that.
Great stuff. Great stuff. And Myth.
Hello, I'm playing. I
Salut.
am Mythematic. I am. I stream all weekdays at the moment, and I usually do a lot of GTA stuff. You can go check me out over at twitch.tv/Mythematic. We're probably gonna be doing a D&D thing soon, I think. Unsure, but anyway, definitely check it out. Love to have you. Love to spitball jokes and do the improv skits again next week. Super excited.
Go away.
Nailed it.
Yep.
Nailed it.
Do the
Improv thing.
Tim.
Do that quick-witted improv that we're so used to from.
It's my sharp
Uncanny talent for
humor.
jokes. All right, beautiful. Jules.
Yeah, tonight was fun. I was so gutted when Etienne died, and then Sergeant Renault died, and I was like, oh, okay, everything's gonna be fine.
Savage.
That's right.
Love it.
Welcome to the team, Jules.
Nope.
Yeah, you know,
You now know
Martine
like
the
it.
survivor. No, I'm just so
Get
glad.
in the car!
Get in the car! Like when your mom tells you to get in the fucking car, you know what lesson you learned tonight? You get in the fucking car.
We're soldiers!
No.
Again, the worst soldier. We are leaving.
Worst soldier hasn't died yet. Probably will die. Gonna.
Stay in that library, you might die.
Whatever.
Or get married, one of the two.
Or get married. I will just let him know that I am already lay married and I already have a work husband. So all the slots are filled. No, you can.
But do you
find
have
me-
a magic husband?
Menage married.
Menage
Yeah,
married.
it could be menage married.
Marriage à trois.
That's it.
Yeah, next week, wedding
Mirage
of
du fromage.
Mara. Fuck.
How much are nat ones?
Mirage.
Oh no.
Guys, come back next week if you wish you were a man.
Yep. I wish I
Come back
was.
next week for the marriage of the century, and everybody's a man.
That's beautiful.
You can find me on Twitter at Julia_Rosa, and I also play Dungeons and Dragons with the Dungeon Drunks. You can find them on Twitter, and you can listen to our podcast, which comes out every Monday. I'm not a man in that one.
I promise.
I promise.
Amazing. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us again.
Glowing recommendation.
Yeah, 5 stars. Would watch again. Thank you guys for joining us. It's been a lot of fun. I'll see you guys again tomorrow for Middle Earth at 12 p.m. and then last one Arvan Elrond show, and then the Long March at 5 p.m. here on Encounter Roleplay. Until next time, my friends, try not to throw too many nat ones because we want to be here laughing when you do. We wish you were men. Good night.